Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Just let me get your comments back up. Yeah, my mic's on this time, so that's an improvement from last time. Right, Urban Lad Yorkshire. We've got Thomas Urban Exploring. Who else have we got in? LK, Liam LK. Nice of you to join us. Excellent. Well known unknown. Cool. Nice of you to join us. I'll just post the link again, and can you tell us whether the link's gone in the chat, please? Yeah. So, yeah, it's been quite a busy week for me, doing bits and bobs. I'll have to read that later. Cool. I don't know what that's on, but yeah, sorry about that. Something popped up on my computer. Let's just click on that, see what it is. Oh, something's gone wrong. Right, oh dear. No worries about that. Yeah, it's in the chat. Cool. Hopefully, I believe Matt is coming up if he's available anyway, so that'll be cool. Yeah, I can't believe what I filmed the other day. That's better. You can see me now. Captain K-Man's in as well. Cool. Pike on a Trike. Excellent. Steve Ellis. Cool. Suzanne. Is it? Yeah. Excellent. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Good to see a lot of you in. Yeah, I've filmed something that I never thought I'd film. A plane crash. Hitting a tanker. Ooh, yeah. Loopaloo's in. Hello. Excellent to see us. Should get some of your names up. Captain K-Man, there's Looper. There's Pike. There's Steve. Well known unknown. Nanny of Minute. Oh, missed her before. Steve Ellis. Yep. New comments. Yeah. Right, I think that's about everyone who's left a comment. Yeah, so I was up there on other purposes, and if any of you know that area, Barton Bridge, there's a Barton Bridge, a flyover there. And at the time, it was really hammered with traffic, rush hour, so I thought, where could I go to waste a bit of time? So I went to this air raid shelter, which is outside the airport, City Airport. I'll tell you a bit more about the airport itself. So, like I say, I went to have a look at this air raid shelter underground, and when I got there, it was boarded up and sealed up tight, virtually. So that was a no-no. So I thought I'd go to the City Airport right next to it. The air raid shelters basically on the outskirts of the air raid of the airfield. Hello. Yep, I'm just saying that because I can't pronounce your name. Sorry about that. I'm dyslexic. Proud of it. Yeah, so I thought to pass the time still, I'll go into this airfield here. It's called Manchester. It's called City Airport. Yeah. And it's Manchester's oldest airport and actually still running. So it's the first passenger airport in Manchester, and it's still running now to this day as an active field. So basically I walked around a little bit and pulled out my camera. I was filming what I could film, and basically walked around the corner, and there was this plane taxiing off. And then it started bouncing all over, and then it took a sharp left and hit a petrol tanker and hit the back end and ripped all the ladders off the back end, sort of thing. Damaged the tip of the airplane. Hello, Winnie. Nice to see you, mate. Cool. LW in as well. Excellent. And yeah, I actually caught that on camera, and you've probably seen the video now. And yeah, I thought that video had to go out quite quick, and it was so the video was doing is on the back burner because after the accident, I spoke to the chief fire engineer or whatever he's called, and asked him whether he wanted to do the video of it. And he went, "Yeah, I could do with a copy." But we didn't have the things to copy it at the time. So the next day I had to go back up. Oh, Adrian's in as well. Hello, Adrian. Cool. Yeah, Thomas Urban Explorer. Yeah, thought I recognised that. Different name, but same picture. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so went back the next day and gave me a copy. It took us in the office and all that. And he had a little word, and he said, "Oh yeah, might be able to get you on one day to have a look around the site." So we'll put the film away for now. Apparently, the airfield was built in the 1930s. Yeah, so just before the war, and obviously it was used during the Second World War. And there's a grade listed the control tower for the aeroplanes, and that's what I want to get into and film that because yeah, I don't think no one's actually got any pictures of that at the moment. I've looked online but can't see any, so it would be great to see inside there. Abandoned and Forgotten Whales is in. Excellent. Cool. Robert Scully is in. Norfolk Explorers. Excellent. Neo Adventures is in. Excellent. Nice to see you all in. I'm just going to turn this light down. It's a bit bright in my face, that one. Make my eyes ache. Yeah. Hartley Coachman's in as well. Cool. Also, the week before, I did have a video ready up to upload on Sunday. And when I actually got SD in, excellent, mate. So when I went to upload it, it didn't share it out through the community. And I noticed about 1 or 2 people just clicked on it. And I thought, that's not right. I know I'm not a major YouTube channel, but normally get a few more than that. So I took it back down and I sussed out what it was. The time I uploaded it to private, it weren't on private, it was on public. And then I got a comment on the video. This is like a week before. So I put it in private. So when I released it again, it didn't push it out because it's already been released. We've got Explore with Eden Valley Drones. Nice of you, mate. Darren's in. Excellent, mate. Nice to see you. Jackie Green Cats. Cool. No, I forgot what I was saying then. Totally blank. Yeah, so this video, like I'm saying, I tried to upload 2 weeks before that. I uploaded it and put it out on public and then took it off straight away. So when it uploaded it last Sunday, it didn't go away like notification for everyone. So I had to redo it on the Sunday, and that's why it was uploaded quite late on the Sunday, but I managed to get that out. Urban Lad Yorkshire. Do you want to come up, mate? You've not been up for a while, and you've just released a video. Let's talk. Come and talk about it. I'll put the link in the comments, and if anyone else wants to come up, if their name's on the book, they can do. So yeah. Managed to get that one out. It's this one behind us, where I got this picture from. So it's So that's where I got this picture from. I managed to release that video, and then I'm doing this Halloween one. I'll say Halloween. It's not a Halloween video. It is an explore that we did, and it was quite a spooky explore. And I thought, yeah, I'm keeping that one for Halloween. So yeah, I've been working on that for a couple of weeks now. I know it's took long, but basically, I can tell you why it's taking so long. I've got a 1 gig hard drive, and there's 2 important video clips on the hard drive, or I thought there were, that I need for this video, else the video won't work. And I've been searching for them. When you're doing your search on your computer, you can click on the bottom and it shows pictures of which films it is. Or if you click onto the labels, it shows you all the dates and times and gigs and how much. I don't know what it is because I'm not all that technical. And also, obviously, I'm just dyslexic, so obviously I look at the pictures first. Oh, there's Fats. Fats is in as well. Excellent Fats. Cool. So went through them. All couldn't find them. So I thought, right, let's go through the data one, and then I sussed out, looked for the date, went through every single thing, and basically every clip I've ever done is on my hard drive, apart from these 2 clips that are vital to this video I'm doing. 1 minute. Pardon me. There you go. We've got our first guest in. Before I introduce him, I'll just finish off what I was saying. So basically, I was scratching my head because I know I've filmed these 2 clips, and I went checking other people's footage of who was there and released their footage, and I found out what's happened because one of the people released their video of it and used my footage. And yes, I would have gave him permission. I did give him permission, but when I took it from a hard drive and gave them a copy, it wasn't the copy, it was the actual file, and they deleted the file. So basically, yeah, I've got to use what I can use off their video and put it all together. I've been enjoying working on it anyway as a video, and yeah, but I'm just letting you all know how hard it's going through trying to get this video up and running. Right, I'm going to introduce our first guest, but he just disappeared. So I'll introduce our second guest, which is actually ALW Aspirations.
Hello, how are you doing?
Right. Not too bad, mate.
Cool. How's everyone in the chat? You all right? Hello to you all.
They all seem okay and up and talkable, active.
Loopy Lou, that's an awesome name. Hi, Loopy Lou.
I want to introduce our next guest as well before anything happens. It's Jackie Greencats and Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Well, it's actually pajamas.
You right, Jackie?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Cool. And our first guest that disappeared was Urban Lad Yorkshire. So I don't know whether he'll pop back up or not, but he was in his working. He might be having
Jurassic Jackie.
Oh, don't you lot bloody start. You're going to get beat up. Yeah. Like, git.
Right, talk of the devil. Hey, and he shall pay.
You right?
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Jackie. Respect to that top. It's legit. It's legit. That top is legit.
The pajamas. See? Got the pajama pants as well.
I've got one of them t-shirts.
Pajamas.
Oh, at least you've got pants on.
Oh, like that, I'd scare the neighbours.
Me neither.
You don't fucking want to know this shit. It's weird.
Yeah.
These fucking naked people.
Aye.
Naked.
ALW, I seen you in a live chat last night having a good conversation with Matt.
Was I?
Was it last night or the night before?
Night before.
Oh yeah, I was. Yeah, I couldn't remember.
Well, it was
I've
last night.
slept
Yeah,
since
I was
then.
one of them.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good. That. Yeah, it was a good chat. Yeah, I enjoyed that. The sort of the questions kept rolling in, so I could keep talking about stuff. It's awkward, as you'll know, Urban Legend UK. You know, when you sort of run out of stuff to say, and you just sort of sat there and you're like, "What do I do now?" Somebody
That's
tell
it.
me something or ask me something. But yeah, that just seemed to flow real naturally. It was, it was good. Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, it flows when he comes on. Know what I mean? He's like he's done it all his life. Like he's been interviewed and he knows. Know what I mean? How to talk and stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
And Urban Lad Yorkshire, you there? Or is he frozen?
He just sits really still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually a 4K feed of Urban Lad Yorkshire, but he just sits still.
Yeah, give him a minute and
Yeah.
see whether it gets any better.
Hi,
So-
Erica.
So about you, Jackie, how's things?
Yeah, it's all right. I'm
Excuse my French.
all right. Yeah, I'm ghost hunting on Friday.
Aye.
Yeah.
You're doing what? Sorry, it broke up when you said I'm doing, then it just went off. Yeah.
Well, that's bollocks. Right, I'll start again. Yeah, I'm ghost hunting on Friday.
Oh, right.
Ooh, in York.
Cool.
Ah, right, yeah. Yeah, it's cool, York. I like York. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
some
I'm
really oldie-worldy sort of places.
Yeah, I'm going with Ghost Raiders again.
Ghost Raiders. There's that house on De Grey Street in Hull. I don't know if you know about this one, but apparently that's the most haunted house in Hull. And there's a phone number on the front of it, and you can basically message them and organise, and they'll let you in, and you can do your paranormal stuff if you're into that sort of thing.
Well, I am, but I think Stunts and Ghost Raiders is definitely.
Yeah, fair dues. Yeah, there's a market for it, so do it.
Yeah.
I think Taffy get into that? Yes, it is off Beverley Road. Explore Norfolk. Yeah, it's not L De Grey Street like the T. It's just D-E Grey Street, D Grey Street, off Beverley Road. It kind of featured a little bit in one of my railway videos because I just happened to be in that area, and Paul mentioned it. I was like, "Oh, is it?" And yeah, it looks proper old as well. It was one of them. Hull got pretty flattened in the war, but that sort of little bit didn't, and that survived. So it is like old. Tom's Urban Explorer says that's where the Highwayman is buried in York. Yeah, he got it. Yeah, Dick Turpin was hung in York outside Marks and Spencer's. So when you're there, Jack, I don't know if you know that. You might know that already, but for those that don't, Dick Turpin was caught in a village called Welton, and then he was put in one of them cages behind a horse and cart and taken to York, where they hung him back in 17, whenever it was. Yeah, just outside Marks and Spencer's on the main road. And there used to be a brass plaque in the floor saying, like, that's the spot they hung him on.
I didn't think Marks and Spencer's was going that long.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He's got a grave of his own. Is that in York as well, Tom's Urban Explorer? I didn't know that. Is that Thomas Tierney as well? I think it is.
Thomas Explores, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I thought it was Thomas. Am I saying that right, Thomas Tierney? Is that someone saying hello? Hi, Simon B.A. Hello, everyone in the chat.
Hi, Simon B.A.
Yeah.
Urban lad Yorkshire's got a. Yeah, he's got to move his big rig round the corner so he gets a signal.
Yeah.
God, that's shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like Eden Drone says there, if you haven't hit the thumbs up, you know what to do if you like watching us. So yeah, excellent.
That is a good point, actually, because their meal deals are pretty banging. If you get their they do have a big food hall. So, yeah, if it is lunchtime-ish, yeah, Marks and Spencer's for a meal deal. Yeah, good plan.
Oh, Simon BA. David Clark, also to say David Drone Adventures have just shared me out. Thank you very much for that. Cool.
I know you get shared out many times. You'd be asking for money next time.
Cheers, Jackie, for sharing us out as well. This is what pops up on the screen, what I can see, you know what I mean? So I don't know what David shares us out on, but it pops up on my screen. So cool.
Tom on the mission said it's Tierney. Yeah, cool. Thank you. Hello, Abandoned and Forgotten Wales.
Yeah, it's Gareth Jones. That is Abandoned and Forgotten Wales.
Yeah.
So, that plane crash. I went back the next day to give the fire chief the copy of it, yeah?
Yeah.
And he looked at it and says, well, they were going over the speed limit. For one, it's a 5 mile an hour speed limit on the field. And if you look at the plane, it was bouncing all over and just a sharp turn left. So So I was like talking to him and says, is it the first time the guy's on the field? He went, no, he's an instructor actually. He wasn't in control of the plane, but he had dual control of it.
Yeah, the trainee in it.
Yeah, he had dual control of it, or he had control of it. It's under his supervision at the time.
Yeah.
And if you look at the video as well, you can actually see the other two planes taxi off at the actual speed you're supposed to.
Yeah.
And what I didn't catch on the video is I turned, obviously stopped my camera, went for a little bit of a walk around the control tower, the base of it, where you're allowed around. And there was a old couple there. So I was just chatting and said, did you see the airplane clip the fuel tank off?
Can I stop you for 2 seconds? Can I stop you for 2 seconds? Urban lad Yorkshire's asking for the link again.
Cheers, Jackie. So
there we go. Should get him back.
So I said to this older couple, oh, do you see the plane clip the fuel tank? And they went, oh no, I hope it's not. Then said that a girl's name. So I said, oh, is she having a flying lesson or something today? Yeah, it's a Christmas and flying present for her Christmas, basically. So it could have been the same girl that might have clipped it if it's the first time.
Whoops.
So,
yeah, it was a bit out of control. It doesn't take much, the sort of like aircraft like that, unless they're on a decent apron. Once you get on mud, and they sort of bounce about quite a lot. It did look a bit out of control. That's his little doggy, look. That dog's bigger than most people.
Wait a minute. Hey, man.
Hey, Marcus.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm all right, mate.
Yeah, lad.
Alright, guys.
Oh.
I've had to reverse it back 7 foot.
Yeah.
All I could hear was ALW saying he's moving his big rig round the corner. I'm like,
Brilliant. I was right.
I don't
then.
know how long it'll last. I've got 3 green lights, so. But when I've got 3 green lights, that's
well.
all right. So I was like this, reversing it back, I was like, beep, beep, watching. Green light, stop.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hang on.
It was like that. Red light, green light.
Oh God.
Hi, David,
He has paws like Muhammad Ali. Yeah, he does. That dog is massive. The webcam don't give it justice. It's like
it's like my
pike on a
sister's
trike. I
American
agree.
bulldog she's got. It weighs something like 15 stone.
Cool.
Its head's as big as my waist. I know that I don't have a big waist, but it is big head.
Yeah, it's big. It's a big dog. Hey, Sue Lindsay's in. Hello. And Lady Lucifer. Can we get
So how's everybody doing anyway? Long time no see, everybody.
It's been a while, mate, hasn't it? Yeah.
It has, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I've been going through a lot of shit in my life, but that's the way it is. Well, whether I keep doing this, I don't know, you know what I mean? But I've got a load of videos to go on. They're all ready to go on, but if I put them on, I put them on. If I don't, I don't. You know what I mean? It's one of them. To me, like Jackie said earlier on, what they call it, you'll be asking for money next. And it was like, there's too many people out there that are asking for money, and that is what is peeing me off. You know what I mean? Because
just leave them to it, mate. Just leave them to it. They can do their thing. You do your thing, and do your thing how you want to do it.
Yeah,
I know, that's it, buddy. I know.
That's one thing I don't ask for on here, really. I don't think I've ever. Tell you a lie, I did ask for donations once for an appeal that Ali Lowe was doing for, and I put the link in the.
That was like a charity thing.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't for you, though, wasn't it? That wasn't money for you.
No,
exactly, yeah.
Oh,
it is what it is, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's like, if you want money, you go to work. If you've got a massive YouTube channel and that, you're laughing at you know what I mean? But if you're not, I don't know. But
yeah, I know some people who don't have a job. They like do YouTube, and that is it. That like pays the mortgage and everything. So it's just, I don't know. I ain't got a problem with people asking for money. It's not something I'd do, but if they do it and they're successful with it, then fair enough. I mean, look at some of the sort of massive channels on YouTube. They're like I say, that it like literally pays their mortgage, and they get sponsorships and all sorts. And fair enough, you know. Good on them.
I follow a guy. I follow a guy, and he's just bought his second farm through YouTube. That's all he does for a job is YouTube. But I mean, he buys. He's in America, and he buys trucks in America. Not trucks as in what I drive. As it trucks as in, you know, like a pickup truck. You know, buys them. And he's just bought one, and he's spent nearly 400,000 on it being lifted. And it's the tallest one, the tallest suspension kit about a minute. But he goes through and he'll like hook a caravan up back and just wreck the caravan, or he'll wreck a truck, or he'll wreck some. You know what I mean? Just drive over cars, and people are watching him. But he's got millions of followers. It's like they're throwing money at him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if it's like that, I'm only jealous because I ain't got that money to start doing that. You know what I mean? It's like crazy. But
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that. We all do what we do when we want to do it.
Yeah.
Simple as that. You know what I mean? It's
yeah. That's what I'm doing it for.
That's something unique.
Let's do it to enjoy it.
He's found a market for it. What he does, you know what I mean? What he likes doing, and people like watching it. So he's got like a niche market there.
Yeah.
Built a big truck. Yeah. I mean, some channels put some like bonkers stuff on. Like I noticed there's someone called Lo-Fi Girl. You might all know who that is. It came up on my thing. I clicked on it, and it's literally a cartoon animation of a girl writing in a notepad. There's a cat wagging its tail. Jack is interested now, and it's just music in the background.
Sounds shit. It sounds shit.
47,000 people were watching it.
Really?
And it was like, yeah, it was in the millions of subscribers. In the millions, yeah. Yeah.
I
mean, the music was...
when I was looking through YouTube tonight, I saw a guy. I can't remember the name. It began with S, and this guy, I've subscribed to him. He's got something like 58,000 followers. I've just subscribed to him because I think his content is amazing, and he's a mobile DJ, and he's got this frame round him, and he's got a DJ system in front of him. He's got straps over his shoulders and that, and he's playing his music. He's got a microphone and that, and he's actually. The video I've just watched is walking around the blue. Is it Blue Water shopping centre in London?
Yeah,
I think it's called Blue Water. Yeah. Anyway, he's walking around this shopping centre, and security come up to him, and he's like, he's proper live. He was live. You know what I mean? And he's walking around, and then he ends up running off from him and goes into like H&M or whatever it's called, this shop, and he's hiding behind clothes and that. And he turns his music down and that, and he's chatting up microphone, and that people are dancing and that behind him and stuff. And he ends up going back out again, turning music up when security has passed. And it's just so police end up coming in end, you know what I mean? And it's like they escort him out of the place, but he runs away from police and everything. It's amazing. But his videos on his channel, he's done canoeing with this DJ equipment and stuff, and he's done all sorts of different bits and bats, and it's quite. Music's decent as well that he's got, you know what I mean? It's crazy. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's funny. That
sounds a bit like
that is funny.
Disco Boy. He used to do a bit like that.
It's exactly the same sort of thing as Disco Boy, yeah.
Yeah. And what's he called? Your chap?
Let me get my phone out and I'll have a glance, and then.
So where was you on your trip? Was it Greece or Turkey?
Greece.
Greece.
Sounds
yeah,
warm.
It's S-U-A-T, Suat.
Suat.
Yeah, Suat. S-U-A-T. If anybody wants to watch that, because it is what's known the trade is, excuse my French, piss funny. I thought it were cool, you know what I mean? What an idea. And how the hell he's got that powering that system he's got. Where he's got the batteries, I do not know, because it's like he's got a proper DJ system in front of him with like mixing decks, and it's not records, it's the CD mixing deck, so it must be on a dongle or whatever, but it's a big thing stuck out in front of him, and then he's got must have a pole on it with a camera on it. It's got him and everybody behind him. It's crazy, but he's a proper dude.
That is cool.
That. How do you spell his name?
Sounds cool.
S-U?
What was it? S-U-A-T?
I don't know, but yeah, Suat, like Suat, but she's like Suat, put it S-U-A-T. Well, I don't know.
Funny, what a dude.
I found him. I'll screenshot it and then make the picture bigger. Just for
send us a link, ALW, when you've got time.
Yeah, we'll do, yeah.
Cheers.
But yeah, it's just so funny, and the music he's playing is quite decent as well. I mean, I like a bit different to what Jackie likes, but yeah, that's him. He's in a cave, raving a cave.
Oh my God!
What the hell?
And he goes running around the stores.
He runs around the shopping centre with that, microphone in his hand and that.
Afterwards,
that's this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, master.
He needs to get up to 1 million, because that is absolutely amazing. Is that? It was so funny, and then the security were like walking him out, and he ran. He set off running. And he's running, holding this thing in his hand, and camera's going like this, and he's like just proper sprinting down the thing, and then slow down, duck into a store or something. You know what I mean? He goes into iPhone store and everything. It's crazy.
That's funny, that. Yeah, you want him to go into a library.
Yeah, library. Yeah, that'd be cool with that, wouldn't it? But he puts earphones on that when he was mixing tracking, and he'll say stuff like on microphone, right, put in comments, guys, now, how many tracks it takes before I get caught. You know what I mean and stuff. And it was something like 3 tracks or something before I got caught. But they were like, "Come on, you
That's
can't
good
play
then.
it now."
Yeah.
But someone said to him, police said to him that, "Oh, there's young kids in there and stuff like that. What if you'd have knocked someone over?" And he went, "I've got public liability insurance, so I'm all right."
Yeah.
Public liability insurance is about 40 quid or something for a year, isn't it? For like £5 million or something, you know what I mean? So it's like, just get public liability insurance.
Cool.
Yeah, good on him.
Yeah.
It's just, how do you explain that over the phone? Well, I'm a DJ, but I don't do it in like pubs. I just carry it around with me.
Yeah.
It's like there's mobile
Where do you do
DJs,
it?
then there's like mobile
Anywhere.
DJs. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never heard of it, but that's really
Well,
cool.
he is actually a mobile DJ. It's like he takes it everywhere with him, doesn't he? You know what I mean? It's like
really
crazy.
mobile. Yeah,
Like a
Really mobile.
one-man band, modern day one-man band.
yeah.
It's just
Oh,
funny
God.
when he runs on though, because you can see him. He must have some legs on him because he's like
He must
proper
do, yeah.
running, and he's got a frame round him, and it's like, and he's tear-assing it down the shopping centre. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's funny.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
that. I'm gonna have to check that out.
That copy was all right.
Oh,
We
you've
in
got to
Greece,
check
wasn't
it
it?
out. It's so funny.
Marcus. That copy was all right.
Yeah,
We was
well,
in
lucky,
Greece.
mate. I was lucky. And one of the lads I went with and his missus, because they were going anyway. They go there every year, and I said to him, "Look, is it all right if I jump on with you? You know what I mean? Get my head straight. You know what I mean?" And he went, "Oh yeah, come with us and that." Anyway, his missus booked it all for me. I just threw her loads of cash and I went over. You know what I mean? And it were all right. It was a bit old for me. It were a bit. You know what I mean? I wanted to see people fighting and stuff in pubs and that, but there weren't really any pubs to
I'm
fight
gonna go
in.
to Leeds.
You know what I mean? That's it. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, but I'd have rather gone to somewhere like, I've never been to Benidorm. I don't know if anybody on here has been to Benidorm, but
I have, yeah.
That's my
Yeah, a few
next destination
times.
thing.
Benidorm's
Have you?
ace. Yeah.
And that's
I've
what I
been
mean. I
there
need
when I
to
was
go
16.
and experience some kicking off and stuff, you know what I mean? And Sticky Vicky and all that, or a daughter or whoever it is, you know what I mean? And
You want to be at
I was
Magaluf,
talking-
mate, for that.
yeah, one of our drivers at work, yeah, he were over there, Benidorm and that, and he went in and there were all these tribute bands in this place, so they're all playing different sorts of music and that. Anyway, Shuadi Wadi came on and that, and they're singing
Oh my
these songs.
God.
And he were like, anyway, one of the guys went to the bar after they'd done the set for about half an hour, and they were having a break and they were coming back on, and he went up to the guy and went, "Do you know?" He said, "You sound just like him." He said, "You're absolutely amazing." And he went, "What do you mean? You sound like who?" And he went, "You sound just like Shuadi Wadi." He went, "We are Shuadi Wadi." You know what I mean? It's like,
Oh my God.
4 of us live over here. You know what I mean? And it's like, "We are Shuadi Wadi." And he went, "Really?"
Oh my
You were like,
God.
so excited. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've seen Shuadi Wadi at Frontier Club in Batley. Only by default, I didn't go and pay for a ticket or out, you know what I mean? Jackie would have done. Jackie would have got first class. Should have been sat at front. Been like, "Ooh, blow your whistle."
I saw Jamiroquai by mistake in Poland once. I just walked
Oh
into
my
this
God.
big
I'd love
pub,
to see him. I think he's
pub
cool.
thing. Yeah, it was really good. I just didn't even know it was on. We just walked into this like big pub. It was before Poland had joined the European Union, so everything was really cheap. It was was it the zloty? It was before, Polish zloty. Is that right?
Yeah.
Chat.
Yeah, something like that.
So it was like 50p a pint. You know, back in the day.
Oh
Oh my
it was
God.
we had to pay to get into this pub like nightclub, and it was like one of the funny notes that you had. And was like, yeah. When we was walking down the stairs, one of our lads was saying, "Oh, I've just been ripped off there." That was like 20 quid to get in. I was like, "Ah, well, whatever." Walked in, and Jamiroquai was there. All right, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, he likes his cars, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Did he have an Atto?
Hey,
Did he have a hat on? He always wears.
He
an
did
hat,
have a
doesn't
hat on. Yeah, he had like a pork pie
big,
hat.
outrageous hat.
There's not wrong with an outrageous hat, is there? You just need the headroom.
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
He does like his cars. He's always got them in his videos and his music as well, hasn't he?
Yeah. Look the like. Yes, Lady Lucifer. Ant. Hi, Ant.
Hello, everybody in chat. Anyway, by the way.
Yeah. So, was there anything else there, Urban Lad?
Yeah, I've got another video, a short one that will come up on Sunday, probably a Sunday again, which is it's only about 5 minutes long. It was some next at Lidl. I'd gone into Lidl for ale, and there were loads of trucks just dumped outside this place, all Scanias and that. And I went round and just walked round them all. You know what I mean? Oh, they've got fronts missing. You know, all immigrants have been there and smashed the shit out of them. You know what I mean? But and I've also got hi Kevin. I've also got a camp in there, which is going to come on. I haven't finished it yet because it's quite difficult to do. It's called Moria Camp, and just over 12 months ago, it was built to hold 3,000 immigrants coming over from Turkey and stuff like that, and it had something like 13,000 in it, and it was set on fire. Well, all these people were in there. A couple of people died and stuff like that, and I actually went. It's still army land, but I went to the place, and where it's all been leveled more or less now. But it was like I went there and I did a video of that, and it was quite sad, to be honest. You know what I mean? There's a couple of tents left what they lived in, and it snows in Lesbos in Greece where I went. It actually snows, and it's quite deep snow when it snows. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it was such a sad, you know what I mean? It was so sad that there were a lot of bad stuff happening. Like, I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but kids were getting raped and that by people, and it was quite an horrific sight. You know what I mean? For
lawless area.
But there was people from all up. They'd obviously got to Turkey, and then they had to come over on dinghies to get over to Lesbos, and then they went from Lesbos over into Athens and stuff like that. Then, but this camp that they were holding all these people, it was just there were people. They had to try and separate the different nationalities. You know what I mean? And they couldn't do that. And all the blokes that were single were all supposed to be in one part, and all the women and children were in a different part. But and there were a wired fence around top of it all and everything. But honestly, it's such a shame. But I've got that videos coming out as well, and I've got a drone one of a castle that were over there, and I've got I went snorkeling for 3 days, and that was banging. That all, you know, crabs. I'm there. Oh, look at shells and that. I dive down for it and that, and I pick shell up, and it'd be like, oh shit, it's got legs. That was cool. And then droning over fishing boats and stuff. I've got a few videos for them I like, but yeah, hermit crabs, that were cool. That snorkeling.
Yeah, I bet.
I bought one of them full face masks. You know, it's like a full face mask, and it's got a snorkel coming out the back. And do you know, it was absolutely amazing. I used to snorkel with it in my mouth and then goggles on, but the full face mask were amazing. It were only cheap and all from Lidl, I think, about it.
I used to do firefighting, you know, actually on ships and stuff, and these sort of early sets that we had were goggles and a mouthpiece and all that lot, and they were pretty horrible. You really knew you was in a fire. But when they brought the full face masks out, it was like having a goldfish bowl on your head, just full of clean air, and just your sort of senses were a lot more alert, and you didn't feel as in danger. So I know what you mean with that. With a full face mask, you just feel a lot safe. It's just nicer. You haven't got all that stuff all over, you know.
Yeah, the initial thing when you go underwater, you know, your head's underwater, you know, snorkel's hanging out. It's just the initial that you take underwater, and it's like, oh, I can breathe. You know what I mean? And it's like air just comes in from top, and then when you blow it out, it comes out. It comes out at the side of your mouth. It's like holes in mouth, and it were like, oh, it were crazy. I was the lad that I went with. He was one of the other drivers from work, obviously, and he went with the mask and the thing, and he bought one of the full face ones and tried it, and he said, I can't do it. I'm suffocating. I said, I just can't do it. Just breathe normal. Just breathe normally. When I can't do it. And I was like, underwater. Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was cool.
I'd be scared of water coming down snout me. No, you
just blow it out. You try and have enough breath left in you to blow it out. But water did come in a few times in mine. And what it did, it filled up round your mouth. And all you had to do was go, and it went out of the actual holes where you breathe through. It really,
that's pretty cool, that,
it was something like 12 quid or something like that. It was for no, honestly. And I flew it all the way over there. I would only bought it to fly over there, and I was going to leave it there, and I didn't. I brought it back. I'll use that again.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah. I
never
hopefully
next year. Yeah. Well, next year I'm hopefully going to California. I want to do. They are public places where you can go. I want to go and do a video of an Alcatraz. I want to do the big Golden Gate Bridge and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I want to do a bit of Route 66, Vegas. I want to do all that. You know what I mean? I want to go away for about nearly 3 weeks. It's planned for, but it should be there should be some good videos coming out of that. You know what I mean? That'll be cool. All that.
I was going to say there'll be some travelling in that, but you'll be used to travelling anyway, being a trucker.
Yeah. What I want to do is go over there, buddy, get in a car and let someone else drive me about there. You know what I mean? I do it for a job. I don't want to do it on holiday.
I know what you mean. I like getting driven about now. I used to love driving, whereas now I prefer being a passenger and get, chauffeured.
Exactly, yeah.
I'll volunteer now if you're looking for a chauffeur. I'll drive you all about around America if you take us.
Yeah.
Big place out in America, though, isn't it? There's Macclesfield Magpies in as well.
Hello.
Hi, Macclesfield Magpies.
Lady Lucifer. I don't know whether they've shown her before or not. But
hey, Lucifer, all right.
Big Barry's in as well.
Barry Little's in.
Yeah, he did.
There's a few that I think have missed, but sorry about who've missed.
Someone said "Oi oi Savoy" earlier. I can't remember who that was. He's like an old aunt. He's saying what it "Oi oi Savoy." Trying to see, was it Arkash? I think it was.
Yeah, I think that was the new person.
Oi oi Savoy. It's what? Sorry.
I think it's the new person in the chat. I've not seen that name before.
Which one?
The one what he just said.
Arkash.
All
in capitals. It's up a bit. But yeah, he just went, oi, oi,
like
Savoy.
Like a grey circle with an egg in it.
Yeah.
Oh, bleeding hell. T420 Tom's in.
Wow.
Cool, mate.
Hello. It's been a while. It has, mate. Yeah. Done it. Time flies. Yeah.
It's gone quick this year, I think.
Yeah,
it has. Yeah, my little boy was saying that the other day. Yeah,
last year we were not allowed to move too much, even though we did do exercise and we had to go out. This year it seemed like when they opened door, it's the time dates just flew. You know what I mean? Time.
Yeah. It did. Yeah, it's gone fast, hasn't it?
I think I'm the only person that's been wanting to catch COVID so I can have some time off work. I'm like, what? Put your mask on. Breathe it in my mouth. Breathe it week off.
Awesome.
Hello, T420 Tom. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm sure the YouTube bots have picked all that up. Nice one. I'll get another beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, with the, I think that's what I'm going to try and do, and try and go abroad a lot. And I mean, hopefully, I've got planned to go to, to London for New Year's Eve, and I want to try and do a live stream, whether or not it'll work outside the London Eye, and do the fireworks from the London Eye. I've actually got a hotel room booked that is just behind the London Eye, and you can see the London Eye from behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
Whether or not I do that, because it's like, I'll tell you, it's 620 quid for 4 nights in London.
Okay, now.
Altogether,
Yeah,
it's going to cost £1,300 to go to 4 nights in London.
Oh,
Do I
fuck that.
do that, or I can go to Gran Canaria for 1,700 quid for 2 people as well.
Yeah, just make sure Sadiq Khan doesn't turn all the underground off and stuff. Get to where you need to be hours before, because stunts like that have been pulled before. Yeah. Tom's Urban Explorer, that's yours. Yeah, that will be good. Sue Lindsay just said that'll be great, Marcus. I think that will be. I don't know what camera you use, but you want one that's good for low light, because it'll be light and dark.
I've got the GoPro 7 and the DJI Pocket 2.
Cool.
I'm not as rich as you see, with your big camera and your flash thing that don't make it move and stuff like that. But if you want to lend it to do the video, I'll quite happily borrow it off you, buddy.
I've had a nightmare with cameras this year. I've probably bought and sold more cameras just to get the setup I wanted than I ever have this year. I had a 6D Mark II, and that was like filming through cling film. Filming wise, it was shocking. Just couldn't get it to work. No, just wasn't for me. Took amazing photographs, but actual video was just pants. So sold all that. I've gone to Sony now. I never thought I'd do that. So I thought all these, Sony users were just doing it. It was like,
what have we got now?
A7 III.
A7 III, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I wanted the A7S3, but they were like a lot more money. I think the body alone was $3,000. So,
yeah.
So I didn't get one of those.
Yeah, you can spend a lot of money on camera equipment and lenses and stuff. The lenses can be just as dear as the cameras.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I did get a GoPro 9. I had a GoPro 9 and I hated it, and I sent it back. It was just junk.
I think Tom uses a 9.
There's a lot of people like him. Adventure Me's got a GoPro 9, and Trekking and Towpaths, and he's got a GoPro 9 and he loves it. I had one. Could I get the video? So I went out filming, used it as like a backup camera, and getting the footage off that onto my computer, absolute nightmare. And I do know how to use computers. I'm quite good with them. That was just, don't know what was going on with it. Because my GoPro 7 and the 8 I used to just either plug it in with the USB and then just drag them across, or I could just put the card in my computer and just copy them across. Just won't have it. It wanted me to upload it all to this cloud and then download it again. I thought, I ain't doing that. So I just sent it back.
Well,
Tom uses
T420
9 there.
Tom, T420 Tom, he does it onto his mobile phone.
Yeah.
It
wanted me to do that as well. Yeah, it wanted me to get it off my GoPro onto my phone. And I thought, well, I don't want it on my phone. I want it on my computer. And even though I'm ex-forces and I'm married and that, I don't like being told what to do by these big corporations. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to put it on a cloud. I'm not interested. So yeah, that went back to them. They give me my money back though, to be fair to them. I just did a web form and told them what the problem was, and they were like, yeah, you can have your money back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Sue says there, too much messing about. messing around.
It was, yeah, it was, because you can have like any Canon camera, any Sony camera, big SLRs, and you just put the SD card in your computer and just copy whatever 4K file you want in full frame format. Not a problem. GoPros, nah. You have to upload it to your
sounds
cloud.
a bit like, yeah, it sounds like Google Cloud itself. It wants to know all your data and what you're doing and what you're filming, and maybe, you know what I mean? A bit like Big Brother before it lets you do what you want freely on your computer. You know what I mean? You've got to go through that system to use it. Where, like you say, if you use your normal camera and stuff, you can bypass the internet and just use it on the computer how you want it.
Yeah.
Sue says, did you get an X-Forces discount card, ALW?
Yeah, I've got one of those, yeah. Yeah.
Really?
And it's good. Yeah.
Will you buy me some stuff? I'll send you a list of stuff and some cash.
No. Yeah. Yeah, I do have one of those, thank you. So, yeah, you get money off at Starbucks and everything. And it's like 20%. Yeah. There's a Starbucks near me, drive-through.
So you go to Starbucks and actually pay a normal price for a coffee then?
Yeah.
Instead of, it's like 10 quid for a coffee is a bit much, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it gets dear when I've got if I've got Dave and Paul and Harry, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm paying like 25 quid for 3 coffees and some buns, and then you get the little card out, and yeah. So yeah. Naffy card, yeah. Kevin Quinton says. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool. And then
Yeah, quite expensive Starbucks, though, by the sound of it. I've never been in one, so I don't drink coffee.
That's a lot cheaper. Simply not drinking coffee is much cheaper, yeah.
But coffee's life.
I like coffee. Yeah.
I love coffee.
I think they'll sell tea, but I think they'll punch you in the face if you ask for a tea at a coffee restaurant.
Who gets tea? Paul, you know Paul, the photographer that comes with me, he gets tea from Starbucks.
Yeah.
Oh, no, so they do tea there?
Yeah, they sell it, yeah.
Is it just like a cup, Yorkshire tea bag, throw it in, jobs are good, and have some of that? Or is it
I think so. I think so, yeah. It'll be a fancy tea bag, won't it? But to be honest, I think we've got onto coffee somehow. We've gone from Forces ID cards to cameras to Forces ID cards to coffee. But yeah, I think my favourite coffee, if I had to rank them, is Starbucks. Then it'd be Mackie D's. I don't like the food. The food's minging, but the coffee's really nice. And then it's probably Costa, I would say. My coffees. Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'd do Starbucks, Costa, then Mackie D's.
Shit, Donald.
Yeah, Simon B.A. I don't have sugar in coffee. I'm a bitter man, as the Mac lad said. I like it just coffee with some milk in, nothing else. I'm not into all the fancy stuff.
It depends, because you get some coffees that are sweet enough you don't even need to add sugar to it.
Yeah,
just like me, Jackie, I'm sweet enough.
Exactly.
Don't you fucking start, you cheeky son.
Yeah. Yeah, going back to actual cloud storage, I've got iCloud on my Apple stuff, which is a naughty word. I twig. I've got iCloud on that, and I've got OneDrive. I use OneDrive for work, like my work stuff.
I've got OneDrive, and there's another one as well, Dropbox. I use them both.
I've been Dropbox off because again they started telling me what to do, and I was like, no, you're sacked. So I got rid of them. Yeah, Business OneDrive. Yeah, that's what I use. Yeah, Chris Sykes. Yeah.
Cool.
I just get a bigger memory card. And put it in. Memory card full. Take it out. Put another one in. Job's a good one. That's it.
It will get like that. It will get like that because them CF cards, them one that go in fancy Nikon cameras, them the big ones. You can get like 2 terabyte ones of them.
Oh,
They're a lot of money, but they will come down.
2
So you'll end up with
terabyte,
like a
the
camera with a 2 terabyte. So how often are you going to need to? It's a lot in it.
Yeah.
And the new drone, the Mavic 3 Cine, that's coming out on November the 5th. Little plug there for DJI. Is that's going to have a 1 terabyte internal storage on it.
Bloody hell.
Wow.
A terabyte, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of storage, that really.
It is, yeah. They're going to do sort of more budget ones, but the Mavic 3 Cine that I've been looking at, that's got one. It's got the
Hi, John.
Smart Controller 2 and a terabyte hard drive in it.
Cool.
Bengal is massive. Hello.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Bengal is massive. Ristepa.
I think I actually started that. I think I invented that. I think I'd had a couple of cans and I was on one of his.
Have you ever tried that there? What Thomas on Mission saying?
What's it on about now?
Obviously, so it didn't work out for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried doing that with one? With the
Seemed to work fine for me, but I've got the business one. Yeah, the Haunted Coachman there is saying CF cards are well old. They are, but the new cameras have. They had CF cards which are well old. I've got some of the old ones up here, the old ones that used to go in like Canon 1Ds and stuff. You used to have them. They are old. That is well old. That proper old tech. Then
and
the
I
old two.
Look at the size of it. Fucking hell.
There was
that
two.
won't fit in your SD card, will it? How would you take?
No, they're
images off
massive. Yeah, they're massive. They're old, really old tech. That is a CF card, which the Haunted Coachman rightly says that is old tech, well old. Then they went on to SD cards like that, which are quite standardized at the minute. That's one of the bigger ones. They do micro SD cards.
Oh, yeah,
But the
micro ones, yeah.
The newer cameras, the Canon Z7, the Sony A9s, things like that, don't take SD cards anymore, so you can't use them, even though that's like 128 gig. And I think I get these for £28 off Amazon. So they're, it's affordable. The 128 gig new style cards are like 100 quid,
Yeah.
So it's, well, just for a bit quicker read-write speed that apparently you need for these new cameras. So it's just all, the future's more expensive.
So that big box thing you showed us the first, can't you get your pictures off that no more? You need a special reader or something, or what?
Not really, no. You can get a CF card reader probably off eBay for pence for this type. But the new type, I'm sure they're called compact flash cards again, but the new type of these, they're different shape. These are the old ones. The new style ones, they're more sort of like that, but they're fatter. And they have more pins on the back. If you've got a system that uses those, you can just USB-C straight from that camera into your computer, so you don't need a reader.
Right.
I've never seen them big cards like that. I've never seen them before.
Yeah, they're old school. That's I had a couple of Canon 1Ds until recently, and I sold them as well.
Yeah.
Sort of sold all my camera because I had like 5 cameras, and you can only use one at a time. That I just sort of acquired over time, and I just sold all of them and bought a A7 III.
How much were your stabilizer?
Can't remember. It's
About
the
3.5.
Ronin RS2. So whatever they are, I can't remember. But I don't just use it for airbexing because I do surveying and stuff like that. So I use it for that. So it makes it a bit more affordable.
So what you're saying is that appliance went through books.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Enough said.
Oh my god, I love it. That's cool.
Isn't it?
Yeah. No comment.
Yeah. ALW is sounding like Matt. No, because Matt hates Apple. Matt hates Apple with a vengeance. But I get his point. I do get his point 100%. However, I don't have time to sort of mess about with systems and stuff. I ain't got time to do that because I've actually got like 2 full-time jobs, and I do airbags as well. I do my. This is like another thing that takes a lot of time up. So you can have a Windows PC or use it on Linux or whatever, but they all need sort of. They take more time. Windows systems take more time, whereas I've found my personal opinion is you can get a MacBook Pro and it'll just do what you want. It just like smashes through 4K, and I never have to update it. I never have to put anything in it, change anything. I don't have to put antivirus on it. It just works for me. For other people, it might not, but for me, I like these.
I believe with Apple products, though, if you update them after a year, it starts to slow down the service.
Probably do, yeah. I mean, I've got,
but I don't know whether it's on tablets as well.
I don't know. Probably, yeah. Everything outdates eventually, doesn't it? Nothing's future-proof forever, but yeah. I mean, that's an iPhone 10, and that's starting to get slow now. That eventually will need replacing, but yeah.
I get a new phone on Thursday.
What's the latest iPhone got out?
Hey, I'm getting a new phone on Thursday. If it's not an iPhone, fuck that. I'm getting a Google Pixel. No, I'm getting a Google Pixel 6 Pro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting it on the day of release.
Oh, nice. Right, okay.
Yes, Twig. I am at home on Saturday, buddy.
So
give me a ring. Don't ring me on the old number because I've got a new number now, buddy. And if you talk to Katie and Adzi, they've got my new number if you haven't got it already. I think I sent it to you, but ring me on new number when you get to my abode.
Abode. Yeah, as well you get.
Yeah, Chris likes
I'm getting free headphones as well. You get with it. It's through Google. You just send off to them. They're meant to be $350, and you get them for nothing because I'm buying a Google product.
Wow.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris Sykes is saying he'd never buy an Apple device. That's fair enough. I totally get it. A few of my friends are like IT, they work in IT and they hate Apple. They just despise it. But for videos and that, I use Apple. For work, I mean, I've got, I use that. I maintain a swing bridge and I use an old CF53 because that's the only thing I've got that'll talk to the bridge. Because that's on Mitsubishi.
That's a big phone, is that, buddy?
Yeah. It's like that.
It's smaller than that now.
Yeah. Up the RAM and put a 2 terabyte SSD in that, and that runs Windows great, and that talks to Melset Q series. No chance getting Apple to talk to one of them, but I used to use this for videos, but it got really rather warm when you started shoving 4K into it. But yeah, I love Windows. I grew up with Windows, so yeah.
Does anybody know if Windows 11 just upgrades from Windows 10? But Baza says.
Don't know, but I can find out tomorrow because I'll ask somebody who knows. Yeah, Barry Little, he's on something there because all the products before Windows 10 were just like I think they had, was it Windows 7? Was it Windows 7, then Vista, and then something else? And they were just all bolt-ons.
No,
Everything
I
was
think Vista went
bolted on.
before Windows 7. I'm sure it was because I had it at first and I thought, oh my fucking God, it's a pile of shit this. And then got Windows 7. I'm like, yes, this is amazing.
I think Windows 7 came out when I was at uni.
I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, I went back to, I did college and I had somebody looking after the, was it the younger kids? I decided to go and using Vista was an absolute bloody nightmare. Horrible and slow.
It was utter garbage.
It was horrible. And Windows 7 came out, I'm like, yes, much faster.
But 10 to 11, I don't know. I ain't got 11. I haven't upgraded because 10 works, so it works for me.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was updating the drivers on my laptop, not yesterday, the day before, so it's okay. So I just sometimes I find my phone a lot easier than my phone. I just use my phone over my laptop. And every now and then I think, shit, I better switch it on just to, keep everything up to date and keep everything going. And then I've got a tablet. I don't think which one it is. I think it's a Samsung 12. I don't fucking know what it is. And I've got a Google Chromebook as well. And I hardly use them. They just sat there gathering dust.
Yeah, my boy uses Chromebooks at school. I don't know much about them, to be honest.
It's just apps. That's all it is. It's apps on a big screen. That's all it is.
Fair enough. Well done, Unlearn. Yes, I am. That's I do that at work. Best MSOS was 98, Windows 98. Yeah, I used to have a laptop with Windows 98 on it, the TFT screen.
Jesus, yeah. And big freaking, how horrible they were.
And I'm a truck driver for a reason because I ain't got an absolute infogiest what you guys are on about. I go, turn it on, and if it doesn't do what I want it to do, I turn it off again and wait till the following day, then it will do it. That's it. Done.
Yeah. Chris Sykes, me too, mate. Yeah, my sort of geek side's coming out.
I purposely went to learn on it because I didn't want to be left behind in the Stone Ages, and I'm like, oh, computers. Oh, I know nothing about these. And then I thought, I'll go and learn on this. Did night school and everything. I wasn't getting left behind. Look at that.
No, this is it. You don't want to leave him behind.
Yeah, exactly, Kevin and Chris. Yeah, that's it. It just fixes it. Turn it off. Following day, it sorted its head out, and then it's all right following day.
Oh, hi, Secret Vault.
Mr. Vault's just woken up.
Yeah,
no!
Oh.
He's been released from his bed.
Hello there.
Did everybody like his video? Because I think one of the best videos he's done is that going to that oil rig. That was amazing. What an amazing! Cool. Oh God, I so much enjoyed that. That was cool. I'm scared of heights, just like he is as well, and that was amazing. That it's like I need to go there and do exactly that because it was like amazing. And engine broke and everything. Job was shit. You know what I mean? It was like
the engine braking was the bit I didn't like. I felt his pain now. I was like, the last thing you want, when you invite two friends to go somewhere and then your car breaks down, it's that yeah.
What I can't get is that they had Dan row for 2.5 hours to get back to the show. That's what I can't understand. It's like he's like, Yeah, come on, let's go. He's throwing like that.
They should have
And
done a Randonautica, shouldn't they?
But when he got
See
back,
Randonautica.
there as well, weren't they? You know what I mean? It was like a big YouTube show and that, you know what I mean? And they were like, it was like, can you imagine Josh when he gets back to the States and does his video on that? And, yeah, and we had to row back for 2.5 hours. You know what I mean? It was like,
yeah. Dan, once he got back to the shore, he was like this. But you don't. Once Dan got back to the shore, he was like, oh.
Can you imagine him in bed that night? It'd be like, what are you doing, Dan? What are you doing?
Yeah, but big respect to Dan giving all that rowing. Know what I mean?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next video when he takes who is it over? Yeah, Steve, because it's like Steve can't swim as well, can he? He can't swim.
Can't he? No, I know. I can't swim.
From his,
I can't.
Secret Vault's other videos, he can't swim. So,
to be honest, if you don't have like an emergency suit on and you fell in that water, unless you're very, very fit and very, very good at swimming, you've probably got 4 minutes tops anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Because even though it was like a nice
hypothermia as well, especially with it being actually cold.
Yeah, the colder get you.
I don't know whether you know this suit, ALW. It's an upper crewman suit. It's a big all-in-one bodysuit for the upper deck crew. I've got one of them, and basically you can put that on and jump in the sea and can float, and you've got a whistle where you pull out your arm and start blowing. So I'd be using that as well as a life ring or whatever.
Life jacket.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Life jacket.
I mean,
yeah, life jacket. Yeah.
Are you expecting a lot of rain in Manchester, or?
Yeah, it's like we know you've been nearly drowned in one of them tunnels, but it's not going to be that bad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot.
He'll be in a zorb ball. One of them zorb balls. Like an hamster wheel running that thing.
You've seen it, Yorkshire lad. It's when we went to the fort, the Green Fort, and put it on as a bodysuit, body warmer, a sleeping bag.
Really?
Yeah, I use it as a sleeping bag, sleeping that.
Yeah, Helly Hansen used to do the survival suits for Arctic Royal Navy ships. They were like a big orange suit you put on, and that was like a life jacket and an immersion suit that kept you like warm and dry. Out of all the explores I've ever seen on YouTube, I think, power stations in Germany, like Broken Window Theory, all the cool places they go to, all over Europe, everywhere, all the Steve Ronan stuff. I think, I'd do that. If I had the opportunity, I'd do that. The only one I wouldn't do is when you went in that storm drain. That is the only one I'd be like, nah, I'd do with that. No,
I would definitely do that because I know that near where my mum lives, there's the same situation. What it does is every so often at a certain time, it releases all the drainage water that's come in, and it's like that's what it was. It released itself. I'd do that, mate. You want a kayak or something and just bang it down, blow up Lilos or something. That'd be so
my
funny.
God!
I'd do that honestly. I'm hoping he texts me there and we can do it, man.
Hello. Fender's Mastiff and Mr. Volt. Hello.
Is that your breakfast?
What did you call him? Mr. Laxative?
Mr. Volt.
Didn't he say he is Mr. Laxative and Mr. Volt?
I don't think so. Did he?
No? Oh, sorry. I've just only had one tonight, but sorry.
It's not that sort of channel, I don't think. There's probably is a YouTube channel for that.
Just have to go to the toilet a bit more. That's all. Yeah. I hear some weird things when I listen to records, and I think, did he just say what I thought he said? Because it's like, hang on. And I played some of them to my mates and said, is he saying what I think he's saying? And they're like, yeah, I think he is. And I was like, oh, right, shit. And it's like some weird stuff in records. But then other times I go what's he saying? And it's like, because I could swear they're saying something completely different. And then they go, no, he's saying this. And I'm like, mind blown because I'm like hearing this chant, like, and he's saying, I don't know, it's like saying something freaky, and then it's like, and he goes, no, he's just saying like, all right, John, how you doing? All right, John, how you doing? And I'm like, no, I could totally hear him saying something really twisted and sick, like, It's like, I'm thinking that's how it goes. But there's a classic example now. I heard something very different to what was actually said. That is definitely me. Anyway, hello.
I think it's time for your medication.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got his
Matt, I think
medication.
you
He's
need to
drinking
stop
it now.
listening to Buck's
Keep
Fizz.
going, sir. You'll be fine.
box face.
Hello, Jackie. Mr.
Hiya.
Bengal, Mr. Urban,
Yeah, cool.
All right, buddy.
and Mr. ALW, of course.
Oh,
How you doing?
yeah, not bad.
Good.
How are you?
Good. Yeah, very good.
Well,
Very
just-
good. Sorry, I
We're
fell
just
asleep
talking
and
about how epic your last video was. That one on the oil rig. It was epic.
yeah. Oh, it's pretty mad. Yeah, but
It was
it wasn't.
probably the best one that you've done, I think, out of
Wow.
all them. And I like the thoughts on that in the Solent, but that were that were amazing with that. I thought it was cool. Dangerous, but cool.
Big problem is I don't film because when things like that are going on, I'm like, right, let's just like get on with getting back. Let's be safe.
Yeah.
Screw cameras. You can't do cameras. Dan's, of course, like rubbing his hands, going, "This is brilliant," But I'm like, I just want to get out here, like.
Yeah.
He didn't do much filming, right, for 2.5 hours, though, did he?
Oof. Yeah, we shared it between us, but yeah.
Yeah.
He did go a bit crazy, because I was like, you don't want to be like going too mad because you're just going to run out of energy and your arms are going to be really hurting. But he did get us back that very last bit. He was really going for it because we weren't making any headway at all. You look at this like thing on my phone, and it was like you're doing like less than a mile an hour. It's like, really?
Blimey.
Wow.
Was it just the current, though, wasn't it?
It's the current, you're just fighting against it, and it seemed like at times if you just stopped rowing, you were actually going faster, but you were going faster upstream. That's the trouble.
Oh, God.
If you're fighting to get across the current, and it's just like you're hardly doing any sort of real, is what it is. But
question: how long did it take to get over there with the new motor?
that was about half an hour, I think it was. It doesn't look that far away. It does not look that far. But then it's like being in America when you like come down from Las Vegas into a valley and there's a mountain there in the distance and it takes you an hour and it just gets a bit closer and it's like an hour later it's a bit closer because their mountains are at like 10,000 foot, 12,000 foot, and it's like they just never get closer. They just like still take ages to come towards you. So it's a bit like that. It just took a long time to get over. I thought it was going to be 20 minutes, but I think I actually timed it in the end. It was about 30 minutes. So, sorry. Snuff.
Oh, is that the snuff again?
Oh,
And
yeah.
use
Well,
a
look, I
lot.
got beer, nicotine. I do it all when I come on these streams. Sorry.
You was on a lock, weren't you?
Yeah,
So-
it was a lock. And I thought, I was saying to Andrew, is it Andy or Andrew I should call you, Mr. ALW?
Either. Yeah, that's fine.
Don't mind. Okay.
No, I don't mind. Yeah.
It goes by Sir as well.
Yeah.
No, I never call me sir. I work for a living.
Yeah. So, what was your thing saying about? Oh, it was a lock. Yeah, that was the interesting thing is because it's a lock. Of course, it's very long and thin, and as long as the wind is coming from the north or the south across that thin bit, then the waves are never really going to get up, and they can also come along the lock from the land side, sort of. But if they come from the seaside, then they bring all those massive waves in with them from the seaside. So they manage to get down that narrow channel into the lock, and then it's like. Now, of course, on the first day, the wind was very calm, and it was coming from the west, so it was westerly. And as you could see, it was just completely calm. Then it flipped around 180 degrees, and it was coming from the east, which is the way that the lock enters. And you'll see the results in the next video. It was like 5 foot up, 5 foot down, like waves.
Holy
So it
shit.
was
I'm
pretty
looking
crazy.
forward to that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to that as well. Really.
Lock picking lawyer.
Oh yeah. I like the lockpicking lawyer. Yeah.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it would you have phoned if it all went tits up, basically? Was it Coast Guard or
Ghostbusters.
fire rescue?
Yeah, no.
Ghostbusters, that's who you're going to call, isn't it?
Yeah. It's always who you're gonna
Jackie
call.
down there.
Yeah.
You wasn't in the sea, was you? Basically, you was in a lock. So
We were in a lock, but I mean, I tested my radio on channel 16 and I got through to Aberdeen and they said, we can hardly hear you. And I was thinking, oh, okay. I had it on low power, didn't I? I didn't realize. So I was having this conversation with them. I could hear them. They couldn't hear me, but I was on low power. So I said, look, what's the nearest channel for Cromarty? And they said, well, Cromarty Harbour Master's on 11. So I went on to 11. It was like, because he is literally only like about a mile away, whereas Aberdeen is, well, I don't know, it's like hundreds of miles. The thing is,
it's a long way from there, yeah.
Yeah, they're picking it up on a repeater service. There's all these receivers all around the country, and wherever you transmit from, it goes to the headquarters. So it's a bit like air traffic control does the same thing. People don't realise that there are all these little receiver points and transmitter points around the country. So
Yeah,
so
we called it bright in the forces.
Someone basically.
what do they call it? Brine?
Bright.
Oh, sorry, bright.
Yeah. They
This
use
repeater
like,
network.
yeah, they call it. So you talk on like a handheld device that would go to the next repeater station, which would be like a massive mast, and that would send out a bright signal, like a big, like boosted, like a aerial booster in your loft in a house. Just expanded that signal, but it'd expand all the good bits, like you talking to the Coast Guard, but it would expand all the static and all the mess and all the noise as well, so it'd make all that worse. But yeah, they called it bright.
Yeah. Well, the 121.5
without a loft.
Yeah. Well, 121.5 is the distress frequency for aircraft. Now, you could be anywhere in the United Kingdom and you transmit, but they will get you in Swanwick. It goes through to Swanwick, which is near, that's near Portsmouth. Portsmouth. It's somewhere between Portsmouth and Southampton, Swanwick. But all the calls go through to there. But when they respond to you, and when you talk on like a long distance area control for radar as well, it don't half sound crap. It really sounds shit. But it's like you say, it's going through all this like chain of, it's like a phone being held against a phone, being held against a phone, being held against a phone. It's going through multiple networks, and it did sound pretty crap. Sounded very synthesized as well. Yeah,
down to Swanwick. That's Nats.
Yes, that's a Nat centre. Yeah,
Nats in Southampton. Yeah, they call it Southampton, but it is Swanwick.
Yeah, and Nats, if anybody doesn't know, is National Air Traffic Service. They're the people who handle. They've got the big radar screens, and they handle the whole of the United Kingdom and approach from Europe into the UK and handover as they go over the top, going to the United States. So it's all handled through there, and then it's handed over. As people disappear off the radar. I think people actually do go. They go off the radar when they go so far, to the States. They can't see them then, and it's like then they appear in the States eventually. So
there was that an Air France and quite a modern Airbus that went down. Yeah, because that was like off the signal, and I think they found it and got the data recorders, found out what happened. But that was sort of didn't come back into the signal at the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Matthew, I think what you need to do is you need to get yourself another microlight and do some, instead of drone footage, we need to actually see you sat in a microlight going round the place. That would be amazing.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind.
Nobody else
doing
on
it.
YouTube are doing that a minute. You know what I mean? No drone.
Nope.
Is his internet gone?
He's frozen.
Yeah, frozen.
Oh no!
Looks like he farted and he blew his speakers out.
Looks like he's doing.
It's like must have been a good one.
Yeah, I reckon.
The longest fart on StreamYard. Yeah, right.
The aircraft used to fly the light ones. Have you seen my last video where that plane crashed? Them little Snextra airplanes are there.
Oh yeah, that was a big aircraft. That one. That was Cessna, wasn't it?
Yeah, that one was. But I've panned round to another one, and the guy's just picking it up by the tail and just swinging it round. And I thought, bleeding hell, them must be quite light if you can do that.
Well, they're not light, but the thing is, you've got to remember that all aircraft are balanced for a center of gravity, which usually goes around roughly where the wheels are, because that's where when you take off, you want it to be at that sort of point. So you want it to sort of start rotating around that center of gravity. So
that's a pivot point, basically.
Yeah, you got to be really careful as well that you don't have like too much of a weight in the front and not enough weight in the back, because you go to pull up and the bloody aircraft nose won't come off the ground. So you've got to put on loads and loads of speed to get any authority out of the back tail plane. So you can balance that up. But if you got some, fat bodies in the front, then you actually put some weight in the back, and then basically then it'll be more balanced. But if you've got too much weight in the back and you come in slow, the back can drop and you will just fall out of the sky, because the back will go down like that, and the aircraft will just go up and you just go plummeting down because you come in too slow and you've got too much weight in the back. And it can also happen if there's weight in an aircraft and it's not tied down and you pull up too hard and it breaks loose or it slides to the back of the aircraft, you're screwed. So the only thing you can ever do there is put on loads of power, because you have to keep going through the air to get that tail to work. Otherwise you were screwed. So
747 crashed in Dubai when I was there. I didn't see it. I was in the Siemens mission getting pissed. But yeah, one did crash. I saw the big fireball. That's what that had happened. They didn't. The ground crew didn't lash any of the load down inside. So they took off. They rotated, and it all slid to the tail, and it literally did that and just crashed at the end of the runway.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, it doesn't affect just little aircraft, big aircraft as well. Yeah, all them like ton weights all slid to the back.
I mean, you do see them. People don't realize it sometimes. It's something that doesn't occur to people. But when you get on an aircraft and you've got your seats, if a lot of people don't turn up, they'll actually reseat you. And it's not for fun. It's done for a reason. It's because, like, if everyone was sitting on the left-hand side of the aircraft, it's going to be wanting to do that all the time, And it's like too much at the back and too much at the front. It's an art form to it's not an art form, it's a science, but there's an art to getting it right, sort of the balance, because it could be quite serious otherwise.
Man down. We lost Urban Lad Yorkshire.
Looks like that spot wasn't good for long enough, were it?
Is he going down on a man? Is that what you're saying?
Might be.
Truckers get a bit desperate sometimes in the middle of the night, don't they?
I don't know, but it is parked in the wrong area.
I've like planes before, Matt, and you thought it was heavy and you lifted it a bit too fast and put some pressure behind it. Could you tip it on its nose?
Say again, because if you pull back and your nose goes up.
No, I mean,
while
it's on the plane, while it's on the ground, and like I say, you pick up the back end to move it round. If someone was over enthusiastic and lifted it up with think it's dead heavy, could they quite easily tip it over the pivot point?
Well, in general, you wouldn't pick an aircraft up by its nose because it has a thing called a propeller, and if the circuit isn't shut off and you move the propeller slightly and there's a little bit of petrol still in the pistons, it could easily spin, and it might even start because you just don't know. They always say treat an engine as if it's live, so you don't go near the propeller.
No, I mean, if you was on the back end and lifted up the back end, could you tip it over onto the?
You don't lift the. No. You pull the back end down and turn the front end round. The back end, because the back of an aircraft normally goes up, so it's got that ability to come down and be flat as the front end is pointing upwards, so it'll sort of take off. So you generally pull the back end down.
I think Will's seen a tail dragger at City Airport.
Oh yeah, if you've got tail draggers, that's a different story. Yeah,
right. That's what I'm saying. If you pick up to drag it, move it around, flick the airplane round, could you flick it too much and end it on its nose even before you moved off?
You could do, but again, they're balanced differently so that the center of gravity is slightly forward so that it naturally wants to go back on its tail. So they always naturally want to go backwards. They're not the same as other aircraft whereby it's more down towards the back of the aircraft so that, you know, it's a little bit lighter then, you know, but yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, tail draggers are normally the wheels are a little bit further forward. And that's for safety reasons as well, because if the wheels were quite far back on a tail dragger, if you apply brakes or you bounce, you can end up on your nose. Whereas when you've got generally nose wheel aircraft are easier to land, because if you bounce the aircraft, it'll bounce and scrape its tail, but it'll bounce onto the nose wheel, which will keep you safe because the nose wheel will bounce back off the ground, you know. But if you haven't got a nose wheel and, you know, that center of gravity is quite far back, then any little movement would make it want to go down onto its propeller. And it happens a lot where you get a prop going into the ground and then it shock loads the engine because the engine stops and then you have to have the engine stripped down. It's very expensive to get an engine stripped down because you can't trust an engine that's been shock loaded. So
no.
Basically, the shock loaded is like an emergency cut off.
Yeah, I mean, if I don't know the best way to describe it, because you could shock load an engine in a car, but generally, if the engine in a car stopped hard, it would still keep turning. You know, the wheels would still keep turning. You know, there was no petrol in there. If you imagine if you had your wheels turning at like you know, certain RPM, and I don't know, like you hit something really hard.
Slam it in
you hit
some gearbox or something. It just yeah.
So you went up really hard on a pavement at 30 miles an hour, and it just went bang into the wheels. It would probably explode the tires, but in that it would probably stop the engine at the same time. It might sort of like you might get a little bit of like a stop, and that stopping can actually sort of, you know, be nasty on the engine because they're designed to go. They're not supposed to go. They're not supposed to. It's just too much, you know. So
alters the fine tolerances somewhat.
Yeah, possibly. But yeah, it's good fun though. All good fun. I've never flown a tail dragger, but I wouldn't mind having a go at it. They steer them with the brakes on those because the back rudder hasn't got enough power unless you rev him up to actually turn. So you actually just put like right brake on and then put the power on, and it naturally comes round by itself. You know, it's like because of the brake, it pirouettes on one of the wheels. I quite like the idea of that. Sounds good fun.
My old next door neighbour, he was a sergeant pilot in the war, and he flew on Lancasters, and he was a pilot. Sergeant pilots in the name, and he said because they were so heavily loaded, the aircraft was like that, and they were a tail dragger. And he said they used to set off, and they'd have radio from the control tower, but there'd be like 20 of them setting off at once. So the control tower would only give out general directions, and used to navigate, like steer with the tail gunner. The tail gunner would tell them like keep turning left now, just sort of go straight, and then just set off on that. You know,
because they're quite high up facing, so they're looking in the air. So it's hard to they can't see over the nose to see the runway.
No, couldn't see anything, so they had to set off like that and then wing it really.
Yeah. But you do have to get some aircraft up to quite a hell of a speed before you can get the tail off the ground. You know, if they're loaded up, you know, you have to keep running and running and running, and you know, to get the tail up. And then once because the aircraft is if the aircraft is on the ground, the wings are at an angle that's dragging, so it's braking you, and it's quite a severe brake as well. You know, when the aircraft is flat against the air, then it's cutting through. But when you land and the tail comes down, it's like a natural brake. It goes into the air and it brakes you. So you've got to get past that with all the weight. You've got to get past that threshold, get the tail in the air. Then you've just got to hold it then level as you build up loads of speed. It's suddenly like you change gear. It's like wah! Suddenly you get all this extra speed kicks in before you can pull up and take off. But yeah, that's another art form. That is tail dragging.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see on a lot of films where they just make it over a cliff to get that extra lift they need to come back up. I think Indiana Jones did it quite a few times.
And you practically find that these aircraft that go off the end of aircraft carriers are practically stalling, and they almost like can come off the end and just build up the speed as they're coming off the end. They're sort of like teetering and building up speed as they get going. You know, they're not actually very well airborne at that point. And they could, if they wanted to, sort of actually dip down and actually use that extra bit of speed coming down off the end of an aircraft carrier, then pull up if they had a problem. You know, it is something you could do, but you know, you see some of them, and then they're not exactly fully airborne when they get going.
No, I've seen it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's some of them do go off the end of the deck, and they sort of drop before they sort of get the extra velocity to start climbing again. Yeah, you're right on the limit. So they sort of whatever payload they've got plus fuel is calculated, and then they sort of catapult it, and they've got just enough. But if you're sort of going into a 40 knot wind, but that wind when you get off the end of the deck is only 30 knots, you're 10 knots shy, so you do drop a bit. Yeah, not good.
Yeah, it must be dodgy setting off from a ship like that, a plane, because you've got the up and down, you know, the waves and stuff. It's not got to be perfectly level all the time. So
yeah, not flat calm.
Yeah, but saying that if someone's attacking, you can't just wait for it to calm all the time, can you? You've got to practice in the rough as well. So it could be, it's quite hard, I'd say.
That's the only sort of time when it is rough, when rotary wing does come into it. Helicopters, they're better at sea for that. But usually, I don't like helicopters really, because I've seen too many crash. But yeah, helicopters are better for that.
Mind you, though, I mean, I've seen helicopters when the ship is coming up and down on the swell, and they've literally got to go pull up and actually make the aircraft go up and down, because otherwise they're going to ram it in. So they have to find this, like, they have to be going down, then coming back up. So they're hovering, but they're actually hovering, but going down and going up at the same time as the ship. And then at some point they go, right, ready now, and they go plonk, and they plonk it down. And then everyone has to run out and grab it, because, of course, then it's like when you jumping on a trampoline. When you reach the top of the jump, you've got no weight. So that whole aircraft that was now being held down could get light again. You know, it could get light when it's on the ground. You know, it could get light, and then it could get very heavy when it's at the bottom of the swell. But when it comes to the top of the swell, it's almost like the deck wants to pop it in the air again. It's like, go on, pop, off you go. So you've got to be careful not to land when the ship is coming up like that, because it's, you know, it's so like, I think you have to land on the down. You have to land on the down things, not when it's coming up.
Yeah, and get that heavy spell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a ship coming up like that, you can't no stopping the ship, is there? And your helicopter weighs a ton and you're coming down, it's just going to splatter the legs, and you go to get splattered, aren't you?
Yeah.
Not looking right or good.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing, that. I think a few people have come unstuck with landing helicopters in bad conditions like that.
Yeah. It takes a lot of skill, like I say, though, for pilots doing it on the ships and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, because what people don't realize is when you pull up hard in a helicopter, it wants to turn because of the torque. You know, so it kicks round. So you've got to also put a lot of rudder in, and you know, it's like, so you're constantly balancing. Let's go down, and the nose wants to go to the left, and then when you pull up, it wants to go to the right. So then you've got to go down again. So it wants to go to the left, and then you're pulling up, and it wants to go to the right. It's like all this extra kind of shit that's going on as you're kind of trying to keep it straight and level, and land properly, and it's wanted to do this as well. You know, it's like bloody hell.
Yeah. Dynamic rollover.
Yeah, I've not
Yeah,
seen
taking
the,
off from a
seen
moving
that
ship
one.
when there's that many sort of gyroscopic effects that Matt's talking about when he's sort of taking off to get airborne. It can, rather than just lift like that, just literally go like that. One did it on Sea King, did it on RFA Argus, and it literally took off and just landed on its rotors. Totally smashed to pieces. I think people were hurt as well. They call that a dynamic rollover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not seen that single person drone, but I've seen people make their own ones and test them on YouTube. But what fascinates me is the hoverboard ones. You ever seen the hoverboards? I think there's Go Air hoverboard, and that looks like the Green Goblin. He just stood on a hoverboard
With the jets. It's got jets.
Yeah, the jets sort of like powering it down like a drone-ish sort of thing, but with jets.
Yeah, I think I have seen one actual one that used jets, but I've seen a lot of these water ones they use as well, which are quite popular. Have you seen those? Where the water comes up through a tube and it jets down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen that.
That'd be fun to have all of them.
Mick Spanner's put the secret chopper. Yeah, if you had one.
I would like to have a couple of lessons in a helicopter, simply because it was one of my favorite things, like flight simulators, you know, on the computer, was a helicopter, because it was tricky. You know, it was always very tricky, and that kept you going. Whereas just flying a normal aircraft on a flight simulator, you know, you can basically put the power on, let it take itself off, and it will just sort of like hang there in the air and just fly itself. But you can't do that with a helicopter. It's a lot more involved. So yeah.
Good night, Urban Lad Yorkshire.
Good night, Urban Lad.
Oh, he's off, is he? Oh,
Yes, there, Marcus.
yeah.
That airport, how was that, Matt? They do helicopter flights there where you take control of the helicopter for 150 quid.
Yeah, I'd want a like proper trial lesson, you know, and you know, go through the theory of it, which I should be pretty much okay with, I think, because I know the principles. It's just like the actuality of sitting there is always very different. But yeah, I wouldn't mind giving it a go, just seeing how it all works out, you know, in reality, rather than in a simulator, which is always a little bit, you know, you don't really get the, you know, everybody can fly a flight simulator. You know, I use flight simulators, but it's completely different when you put, you know, when you put somebody actually in the controls. All the movements and the physicality of the controls is completely different to what you're expecting. So how much
it is, yeah.
How much control do you put in, you know, and all that? Yeah.
That's what I said to him. I said, so I can go up and have a flying lesson. Do I need a license to it? No, not for your first one or nothing. No.
No, because you're going for training. You're going to get your license. Yeah.
We take you up, and then we let you have control of the controls once you're up in the sky. I was like, bleeding hell. Know what I mean? I thought it'd be a bit more longer than that, and just we're in the sky now. It's yours. Like, oh yeah.
But the helicopters are not too bad. They're not too bad when they're flying. When you've got a bit of speed on, they behave quite well. It's what happens when you start slowing down. That's when it gets very interesting. The transition, you know, between flight and hover is very interesting. But once they're up to like about 100 and 120 miles an hour, you know, you just look like an aircraft. It's like push right to go right, push left to go left, you know, and just like hold it forward, you know, and stop the nose rising and lowering too much above the horizon. That's basically all they'll probably tell you, is just like, you just keep it sort of straight and level, pointed in that direction, and you'll be all right. And they might give you the collective, but you may find that they control that for you, and they just go, yeah, just hold on to this and just do this, you know. But you get the collective, that's the throttle as well, and up and down pitch on the blades. So it's a little bit too much for people to handle straight off the bat. But you know, they'd probably be like, yeah, you're in control, go on, and you will be in control of the main cyclic, they call it. And I don't know. Maybe they would. They could maybe give you the whole thing. They give you the collective as well. But it gets really interesting if you roll the power off. It'll start to. It wants to kick because of this torque effect. So if you throttle on, I think the nearest thing you probably know about this because you like driving cars. If you've got a very powerful car, if you put your foot down and it's a one-wheel drive, it torque steers. You know that term, torque steering. So if you put your foot down, the car will want to go to the right. If you let your foot off, it'll want to go to the left. So you literally can steer the car by how much power you're putting on. It's like that with a helicopter, but it's a bit more severe. If you get that balance between your throttle and up and down going, you can actually induce a nasty oscillation, which can cause the blades to come off. So you got to be careful. But and you got your feet as well, and you got your feet. Yeah. So you're meant to balance the spin with your feet, but the throttle affects whether it wants to spin. You know what I mean? So it's like throttle and collective will make it spin. It wants to sort of So there's a lot going on. It's great though. It's good fun.
Yeah, I believe there's like an handbrake on the helicopters as well.
That's called the collective. Yeah, that's the collective. That is the throttle. And what changes the pitch on the main blades. So when you pull it up, you get pitch. When you put it in the middle, the blades are flat. And when you push it down, the pitch goes the other way. So it'll throw you down at the ground. And that's basically, as you pull it up, you increase the pitch and then it wants to take off then. It's like it wants to come off the ground. But you've got to have enough rotation. And the more you pull the pitch up, the more the speed wants to go down, because it's now laboring the engine, because it's now biting the air. So you've got to put more throttle on. So you've got to pull the stick up with more throttle. And as you start to get off the ground, then the aircraft is going to go one way or the other. It's going to want to kick one way or the other. So you've got to immediately correct for that with the rudder. And then as you put more throttle on, it wants to go even more. So you've got to correct again. So it's like, and if you roll that throttle off quickly, the aircraft will, it'll kick. So you've got to be a bit careful with that.
Tank slapper and a chopper.
I think that's why they said they'll take us in the air first and take control.
Yeah. Get you up to speed. It's a lot safer. It behaves much more benign when it's running. It's when it stops, that's when it all gets, Yeah. And there aren't many automatic helicopters. About the only sort of automatic helicopters you can get are, I think, Apaches are semi-automatic. They can kind of control a little bit themselves, but it's mainly the biggest types of helicopters of all, which are the Super Pumas and Merlins and things like that, because they're so complicated that they do have electronic fly-by-wire systems in them to make it a lot easier for the pilot. And he literally can take his hand off the collective, which you would never normally do as a helicopter pilot. It's always got the hand on, because you're constantly making changes to that control. But in big aircraft like Super Pumas and things that do the oil rigs, those things are so literally, you can take your hands off the controls and you can just let it fly it, and it'll maintain the engine, the throttle, and it'll be flying. You can put it autopilot and it'll fly. Like that is very unusual to see that in a helicopter. You can't. It's normally something that helicopter pilots would be like, "Ooh, shit!" Like what? I'm letting it fly itself.
Can't do that.
Yeah, because it's like, helicopters are very much hands-on normally. Yeah.
The pilots that were coming off Sea Kings, which were completely mechanical and hydraulic, they were sort of retiring those to go onto the Merlins, which had a system called Moaning Myrtle, which was the computer system that was constantly telling you things verbally. Neil says Merlin pilots are also known as cockpit managers. They are. Yeah, they still, obviously, it's very, very involved, but yeah, that sort of jump to go to fly-by-wire in a helicopter is massive. There was no sort of in-between bit. It was like completely mechanical too. Yeah, sort of hands-off when you need to. Yeah. I think you're nearly done anyway.
I think that's probably his mum there. the electronics in Super Pumas and things like that. I think it's called a FADEC system, and it's like something to do with engine management, you know. And literally, you just start the engines, and you say like, I want to move it up to speed, and then it takes care of everything. You know, it's like all the temperatures, pressures, everything is monitoring the lot. Basically, then you know, you just sort of go like, well, I'd like to take off now. It's like, okay, off we go then. You know, it's like, you know, you're just kind of nudging it in the right direction, what you want it to do, but it's very much in control. So yeah, good stuff. I need to get another drink actually.
I just grabbed one.
Have you ever flown anything, Mr. Bengal?
No.
Good answer.
Never had to go on the controls of an aircraft. How about boats then?
No, I've never.
No boats?
Well, outdoor, but I like a dinghy with an outdoor motor on it. That's about it.
Well, I was going to say any untrained idiot can do that and get it wrong. Yeah, yeah. You don't need a license to have a boat. It's great.
No, I've never done anything in the air like that. Only done like a dinghy. Done banger racing, if that's any consolation.
Well, that's pretty ballsy. Yeah, fair play.
It was when I flipped it, but you know. But, yeah.
Crowd pleaser, then you are.
Oh yeah, but the thing was, I was first, and the geezer come up behind me, hit me on my rear quarter as I was going around a right-hand bend. He hit me on on the left bit, and I literally just flipped it. Escort Mark II.
So you would have won that one then?
Yeah, I would have, but that was I was upside, like you see ground sky. I'm upside down, and literally, you know, you got the marshals, haven't you? And they're like, "Are you all right? Are you all right?" Like this. He's going like this, and I'm a bit in a daze. I'm upside down. I'm like strapped in, and I'm like, "All right." Just sort of go, "All right, mate." He's going, "Yeah, he's all right." He's looking. I'm like, "No, I'm upside down. I'm done the thing," and there's literally like that. But yeah.
That was like good fun.
Oh yeah, it was good fun at the time. I don't do it now because everything's too electronic. This is when you didn't have all the fangled electronics in the car. You just rip it all out, put a big water tank in, petrol tank in the next year, and then sort of next year, and the battery in the foot passenger well. That's all you need. Take everything else. I'll keep the radio because you always want a little bit of light music when you're traveling.
Yeah.
And then I'll bang it.
I remember going to Bellevue with kids, taking them to stock car racing, and you were allowed to walk into the pits and stuff like that, just watching them all with the sledgehammers banging them back out and stuff. It was really cool.
Oh mate, until I did it, I did not know what you can do with a car and what you can take off it, and it will still run.
Yeah.
Basically, they just strip everything to a shell, like you say. They leave I think it's brake lights in or not even that. I don't think. Just a bare bits of wires to make it run.
You got to take the glass out, haven't you? They don't like glass.
No,
they don't. Yeah. We took.
And do you have to have a roll cage?
Reinforced doors, cash doors, barriers, like things.
When I did it, we had you could have a roll cage, but what you can also do, you put a massive right in the center, where behind your seat, you put like a massive steel girder basically, and have a big frame. Yeah. So that will basically hopefully protect you. You can get frames, and people do put the frames in. I just had a big old steel girder, mate. That never went anywhere. And they then put like a water tank you can put sort of next to you, but like at the back, and then a pipe goes down and out. So it obviously if it gets hot, the steam goes out away from you. But what we did, I had an escort. So what we did, we had a massive water tank. We bolted it to the suspension, put it all up, so that weren't going nowhere. And and because it was big, it wouldn't overheat. So whereas you get all these people, they're going round and it gets too hot and it starts steaming underneath the car. Didn't have any of that.
Cool.
Don't you have to bolt the doors closed as well so they don't open?
Yeah, make sure they're all bolted or welded, whatever. Bolt it all together. What else? I had a sunroof, so we took the sunroof out. Just put a sheet of alley right across it, bolted all them in, made sure the bolts were safe inside. Because obviously, once you've got nothing in there, like normally you have all the stuff in the car, don't you? So you take the front, you literally take the whole lot of the front out inside. Of course, as I say, you have to leave the radio. In my opinion, you do need the light. You need the light music around. But everything else you just take out, and then you just got bolts down, so you have to grind the bolts so they don't hurt you. What's that? Need a foot plate, door bar. Yeah, H frame.
Yeah,
that's it. That's the H frame.
I'll be back. I need to get some more beer. Be back.
yeah. The H frame. If you look, the horizontal line going, is it horizontal going that way? Is the one behind your back car seat?
Yeah, the H frame.
And the two vertical ones are the ones in the doors to protect you from the side impact.
What we do also, you have the special, if I remember, your special seat belt. Like the normal ones that go across like this ain't good enough. So you get the proper ones that go straight across like that and round your belly, have the clip in the middle. And we used to bolt it on the back, so you had the back part of it as well. It's a pain, but it worked really well. Kept me safe. I tell you, the safety harness that kept me safe. I tell you that.
Especially if you're upside down.
I'll tell you what, that's the most uncomfortable thing is having the safety harness on, because it's so tight, like on your like your shoulder blades and right down. It's not like in a car where it's like a little bit of move. There's no movement. You're literally just like that, strapped in, and you're going right, come on in. If you want to have a mirror, have a mirror. It's normally fairly good to have a mirror.
Yeah, them safety harness strap round you and stuff. I've got one there for like high places. There's videos to come about that. But apparently, the person who gave us tell us how to use it, and he says if any slack in there, and especially around the around the leg part, and you fall, and then it locks on, it can actually rip your manhood off and stuff like that. So make sure when you're wearing like outfits like that, protection outfits, make sure they fit proper.
Yeah, because although it sounds strange having it so tight, but it when you roll it, trust me from experience, when you roll it, that harness is keeping you in, because your legs, like you got your you got obviously your brake, your clutch, accelerator. The only injury I had was where I just cut my ankle, where my leg, because when you roll, you go a bit floppy, right? And it literally just hit against the accelerator. Was it? Yeah, the accelerator. It just cut it. That was it. But that's just normal. It's nothing major.
Like you say, your body's strapped down, but your legs weren't, so they flop about a bit when you're rolling, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. Because they also when you're driving, you don't put your arm out and all this, because you hear of people who. I remember as a girl, she was driving a Mini, and they put their hand out like that on the side of the, and it got hit. It rolled it, and it literally just broke her fingers.
Oh, she's lucky.
Very lucky that it took them off.
Yeah.
Very lucky.
Definitely.
But yeah, so I haven't done anything like that, Matt. I can't fly, and I can't. Well, I could do a boat. I've done like paddling and shit.
I tell you something I saw the other day, which is a real good laugh. Actually, I mean, I could see sort of people getting into it more actually, but was mower racing. It was lawnmower.
Yeah,
lawnmower, like and they're a bit souped up. They've obviously tweaked them a bit, but within reason. You can. It's like whichever mower is best. Like I mean. they don't have any sort of restrictions on the engine sizes or anything like that. I think it just has to be the original engine. You can't swap it out for like some super engine. It has to be the original engine, but you can modify that original engine to make it better. You know, so like better fuel system,
I've
carburetor,
got an old
whatever.
Brixton Strata sitting down there. I better sort that out, haven't I?
Yeah.
Well,
And there was even a bloke going around, and one of these ones is like articulated, like the middle of it actually bends. You know, like so there's a back half which you sit on, a seat, and the front half with the actual mower and the bit. And he was like that. It's got a handlebars, and he's literally like, I think you pull one for the brake and you pull one for accelerator. And he was literally like sort of, he was going around and he's like putting this heavy thing, like bending it into bends, like, you know, and it was like, wow. Great. Some people fall off on those, you know, and it rolls and all that, but they're okay. But yeah, it's good laugh.
Blade off, it'd be all right, wouldn't it? Bit of carnage with the blade otherwise.
It's an achievable sport as well. Like it's an achievable motorsport that isn't going to cost you a fortune. You can do it in your shed. You know, you can maintain that thing in your shed, put it in the back of a van, and drive it somewhere. And I didn't see the sort of like logic in it when I first like mower racing, and then I actually saw my mate who's pretty good at it. I went down and did some filming of it, like, you know, and it was great. It looks like a great laugh, you know.
Yeah,
that would be quite fun.
Mow some lawns too.
Yeah, that's it. I think they take the blade bit off. You know, that's the only bit they do take off. They don't want it going around stopping people up.
Yeah. They've got 93 people in.
That's cool. Let's look at
that. Sorry, Will. Have you seen that guy who done? He souped up like a disabled wheelchair thing. Have you seen them? You know, like the ones that just drive about 2 miles an hour.
Oh yeah, Colin Furs.
Yeah, it put an 80cc motorbike engine in it.
Yeah,
He's done all sorts. He's had
went straight down the road with one.
He's done a few things like that. He's had like he made a Dodgem car and put an engine in it. You know, like out of bumper cars from the fun fair, and he put an engine in one of those. I think he had a Bath. He's done all sorts of things. He had a jet powered bike, which was a pulse jet. You know, like one of these where you put a little bit of fuel in and then it lights it and then it recompresses the next piece of fuel. So it basically goes brrrr, and it's the loudest thing you can ever hear, apparently. It's like crazy. It's even louder than Formula One cars.
Yeah, they used to use them on World War II on bombs from Germany. And when you could hear this noise coming across the airways, like you say, you could hear it from miles away. They moved off the air raid shelter sirens and for people to go underground. But yeah, it used to be devastating, them things. Then the V1s came out, didn't they, after that?
Yeah, he's got some great stuff, that Colin Furs. I love him. Yeah, he's really good.
He's done that bunker, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he's got a bunker in his back garden.
Did he not dig deeper down as well? He's dug deeper and done like a passage or something.
Putting tunnels in.
Yeah. But it's something to think about, because if you're not allowed to, you know, because of your neighbours, you're not allowed to build up, but you can build down and people don't notice what you're doing. And it's very popular in London, apparently. All the £1 million pads in London, they're all building down, and they got swimming pools and, you know, party areas. And of course, you know, it costs a fortune. And this is one of the biggest problems in London, is like that, like all these rich houses are doing it, and it's driving their neighbours freaking crazy, you know, because of all the building work that's going on and all the house shaking and all this sort of nonsense, you know, from the digging. Yeah.
I believe it. Like you say, in London, it's quite a big thing, all that. And it's causing a lot of fuss, like you say, as well. There's a TV program about it.
Yeah. Building
That would be a
down.
nightmare. I mean, can you imagine? They build it. They start digging down, like to build a swim. Oh, we go a bit deeper. Hits the old. We found a tunnel. It's a fucking train line.
You got to know what's underneath you.
Yeah, this is it. Some of it's not on architectural drawings. There's stuff under London, especially London, that just isn't marked anywhere.
Yeah, I was speaking to a construction worker, and basically they said we come across tunnels and voids in the ground that we don't even know what's there because it's doesn't show us on our maps. That's supposed to show things like that. And I said, "What do you do?" So, well, we go in, just send someone in, survey it, and then fill it up or go from there. Then, but it's quite a common thing that actually finding things in work sites where they're not marked on the maps.
I found a good website which might be useful for people. It's basically it's like an amnesty thing for work sites that they log in and then they basically say what works they're going to be doing. So they actually say, well, I've got work here, and then whoever's in charge of this is like a national thing, you know. So it's probably run by the government at some level, but basically you say, I want to do works here, and you draw where you're going to do your works, and then they will tell you what's underneath that land. You know, they'll tell you the pipes, and they'll list where all the electrics and cables and gas is running, because it all has to be mapped. Every inch of it has to be mapped when known. As you say, like in London, they probably don't, there's things they don't know, you know, but where it is known, everything has to be mapped. So basically you say, like, I'm interested in here, and I'm going to be working on something, you know, like we're going to be digging, you know, and then they send you the plans. Electronically, they just send you the plans, and it's like, thank you very much. And I was able to confirm that there was a bunker in Trowbridge because of this, because they sent me the plans, and it was like, I can see what's under the ground now. Thank you very much.
Pretty cool.
That is cool.
But if you look it up, I mean, I can't remember what it's called, but I mean, if it's like it's for builders, you know, it's not hard to find. I could probably find it now actually and tell you what it is, but you can actually request the information and they give it to you.
Yeah. Excellent.
But
Like I say, knowledge is a power, really. Once you know,
it is.
What, then you can do whatever with it.
A lot of these big companies like Mighty and places like that, they've just got, just because they've absorbed everything, and that is knowledge is power.
it is.
Oh dear. Well, I think it's about my bedtime because I'm up early in the morning, so I'm gonna shoot off. But thanks very much, Will, for having me on. Everyone on the panel, thank you for being there, and everyone in the chat, thank you so much.
Cheers, Andy.
Cheerio.
See you later, mate.
Bye.
Yeah. I think it's called line search before you dig. I'm not sure if it's the only one or if it's the main one, but it's called line search before you dig. And yeah, they basically, you know, let you know. So free underground utility maps. So there's the survey house as well. Digidat. That sounds like it. Digidat. Digital data on demand. Digidat. And you look at it and you go, what's all this crap? You know, and it's like, I think that's what it is. It's like, I need to find the location of underground assets. Choose Digitat utilities, you know, and it's like it lets you access maps of underground assets 24/7, providing simple compliance with statutory requirements. So basically, you know, before you go sticking anything in the ground, before you even stick a shovel in the ground, you're meant to really look it up on this service, you know, and they'll tell you what's there. So it can be quite interesting what you can find out with something like that.
Yeah. Basically, you just type in the coordinates of where you want to do your work.
That's right. They do ask you a couple of questions like, what's your company name? So I was like, you know, Sir Spunk-a-lot and all that, you know, and, you know, and they say, like, what are you digging for? And I say, I'm digging for vagine, you know, so I'm looking for a new source of vagine. You know, so but they ask you questions and you fill it in, and then they always somebody at the other end is probably like, "What is this shit?" Like, you know, yeah, just give it to him.
Oh my god!
It might be worth trying that. So I'm a glory hole hunter.
Oh god!
That's right. Looking for very, very large holes to get very familiar with.
Looking for glory.
Yeah, digging for glory in the ground.
Yeah, because I know that the authorities don't like you getting that type of information, really. Infrastructure underground.
Well, you
Oh, it's
think that, but I mean, I suppose they have to give it to you, because if you're going to be digging in the ground, and anything could go wrong. You could end up cutting through communications cables, gas, electric. And it's not just the danger to you; it's the fact that it's then going to be people are out of power for a day or two, whilst they try and come along and fix it.
half
Yeah.
these people don't know where anything is anyway. I mean, I've had to look for various pipes, services, everything, and I've gone through like records office, land registry. They don't have it. They didn't have it, and I was telling them where something was, and like, well, I need to know where that goes. Well, no, don't know. Don't tell me we don't
Yeah.
know. Don't even know it's there.
Now, sad when they don't know stuff like that.
Well,
Yeah, Digitat is a trading name of Anglian Water Services Limited. They may have got the contract to handle this for, the UK, because they don't just handle their own pipe information. They handle, what else is there as well, because they need to know it as well themselves. So it might be that at some point, they've just taken it over. And I think they're, because it doesn't say that this is just for Anglia Water regions. This is nationwide. So even though it's run by Anglian Water, they hold the plans for everything.
yeah,
It's funny to know that, isn't it?
They're just a subsidiary.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're funny enough. The people I've actually contacted before about certain things,
Oh,
and they're the
no
ones who
shit.
went, "Oh no, didn't know anything about that." It's like what? But it's worth looking if you can get the chance to do it, because it's quite interesting as well.
Yeah.
I think they also do the floodplains as well. There's a map you can get of all the like certain area you want, but you can do the whole nationwide if you wanted, and it will give you all where the local flooding areas are and everything.
Yeah. There's a secret map as well, I was told about by somebody that lives in an area that gets sewage comes out and floods their house with sewage.
Oh yeah, you said it's a dirty map or something. Dirty
Yeah,
houses.
they call it the Dirty House Register. And it's a secret list they have of all these areas that are problem areas, but they don't list it for you when you're buying a house there. You do a survey, and it may not come up that house is a dirty house, i.e., when the flood water comes down, it'll fill up the sewers, and then the sewers will flood out into your street or push it up through your toilet, and it's quite well known for it in these areas, and it's kept. And of course, you can't get insurance. You can't get house insurance in those areas. And if you buy a house and you find out later on that it's in that area, you're screwed. But there's a secret register, and it shouldn't be secret. It should be open so that people can find out where not to buy a house.
Yeah, that's true, actually, on that one. Because if they don't tell you about it, how are you supposed to know? You know what I mean? Until it happens, it's like ripping you off in a way.
And this woman was saying, she said, who's responsible for the sewers? It's the water companies, because it's part of the water company thing. She said, but they won't take responsibility for it. She said, you can't get them, you can't get them into court even, because they're responsible for pipes, for water pipes.
Yeah.
But sewers, they go, well, we're not taking responsibility for that because they were built before we got here. And that's what they normally say is like, oh, well, we don't know where all the system is. We can't take responsibility for what somebody else did, but they get out of it. It's like they're responsible for water. Yeah, they're responsible for water, but not for sewage, even though it is in their remit.
Matt, even with water, if you phone them and say that you got a problem here, if it's on a main road or outside your main property, they'll come along and do what they got to do. As soon as it's inside your boundary, they go, no, it's private. You got to pay us to get it done. Doesn't matter whether it's their pipe work. They say, no, because you own that place or you rent that place, that's nothing to do with us. You have to pay us to come in, explore it, do what we got to do with it. And that's it. Yep. It then becomes your problem. That's how they get away with it.
Full of shit they are.
Yeah.
I was telling my landlady as well. I mean, like a guy doing decorating was electrocuted, like decorating my house, on the outside, because he went up there and there's wires going across the front, and he was like painting back and forth, and bang, he got an electric shock. Well, because they're actually bare metal wires strapped onto the side of all the houses in Market Lavington. Bare metal wires, not on poles swung where you can't get access to them. They're just strapped above the, like they're between the first floor and between the ground floor and the first floor, a little bit higher than normal reach. There's just wires going across. And I've told a few of the neighbours, like guy who moved in next door, I said, by the way, now, if you ever think of doing any decorating and you put your ladders up against the wall, whatever you do, don't touch those wires because they're live. And I said, you wouldn't think it, would you? Because you look at them and it's like you can see they've been painted over in the past. I said, but you touch those in the wrong way, yeah, they are live, and that's just paint on them. It shouldn't be on them.
I've seen that on older houses with the old electric thing. They have mains coming out of the ground, going to like a big fuse box on the side of one house, and then from that house it runs a cable across to all the other houses, and then it drops down from this cable right down to each one house, and then they've got an electric box in there. That's the old style of doing it, basically.
And it's
that 1930s style, 1920s, quite early method.
I mean, I couldn't believe it, the fact that they were just like bare wires on the side of the house. It's you just don't think that you've got to be careful putting a ladder against the side of a house, do you? You just don't. It doesn't register.
Well, back when they done that, they probably had wooden ladders mainly. Like these days, where they had aluminium ladders, where obviously you touch it with an aluminium ladder, you're touching the ground, boom, making a contact, aren't you? Circuit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right. I suppose people wouldn't have been so at risk, unless the wooden ladder was damp, in which case, maybe.
You'd probably get a buzz through you. You feel a buzzer or something, maybe.
Yeah.
Before you actually get a shock.
Nasty. Yeah, Richie Wellock. Hello, Mr. Wellock. He's in the chat. He says, "Don't paint the wires." Yeah. Yeah. I thought those cables that spanned across the phone lines off those wooden posts. Well, most people are used to seeing those things come off posts, and swing to your house. Then they become insulated and they come down the side of the house and go into your fuse box. But I couldn't get over the fact that it's all just two sets of wires just running along the front of the house, but not like right up at the roof level, like just above the front door, that sort of level up there,
Wow, pretty bad.
Yeah, about floor level, the first floor level.
First floor level, yeah. Yeah, so it's worth noting as well. And we had a fire of a electric pole in our village. I put footage up of it years ago, and it was quite impressive because you'd think that a circuit breaker would like kick in, but it wasn't, and it was setting the whole pole on fire. The electric going up this pole, and something had happened to the insulation, so the two wires were sparking off each other. And it was just going bang, bang, bzz, bang, 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 bang. And it was just continual banging and sparking and flying off this pole. And it was like that for an hour. And it brought a wire down onto the road. And somebody went to walk up to it. And I said, "Whoa, mate, don't touch that frigging wire." I spoke to an electrical guy. He said, "Oh, it'd only be 240." He said it'd be very high amps, like hundreds of amps, but it'd be 240. And I was like, "Yeah, it's not the point though. It's like, somebody goes up to it and they're like, oh, I'll just grab that and push it out the way. Like, it shouldn't be on the road." I was like, "Mate, no." So I actually had to stand outside just to watch to make sure that nobody thought, "Oh, we just move this wire out the way." It's like it's a bloody live 200 amp bloody cable, You
probably saved some copper feeds lives there. Oh, look, feed cable. Just about to cut it.
Yeah. And it was crazy because we had to get the fire brigade had to come out. And then they had to close. The whole village was closed for about 4 hours, because they had to get the electricity board out. But you know, it was just sparking for hours, you know, and yeah, it didn't go away, like, you know, and all the lights were dimming every time it sparked. All the lights were going in the house, so I was like, oh, I had to turn everything off because it didn't want it to damage any electrical equipment. But yeah.
So they have to turn all the electric off then for 4 hours, or while they fixed it.
Well, you know, you could have your lights on in your house if you wanted to, but I mean, with all that like sparking and surging of power, I wasn't confident that it wouldn't have caused some damage to some equipment, so I just turned it all off. You know, it's like, yeah.
That would have sent charges through your house, mate.
Yeah.
Aye. Just take pictures, Richie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen his video where he says that. Just take pictures and he walks off with a picture. Yeah, it's funny. He's a funny guy, Richie. Right, been on for nearly 2.5 hours now. I'll give you a 5-minute warning. Yeah, give you a 5-minute warning, or say 4 minutes now, and we'll be heading off. So thanks to everyone who's been in the chat and left messages and stuff, and everyone who's came up on the panel. Been Lad Yorkshire, good to see him back up on the YouTube, releasing videos and that. So it's cool. Yeah, excellent. You got anything planned this week or anything? Any of yous?
Ghost hunting on Friday, staying overnight.
Oh, it's overnight. Are you doing?
Yeah, staying overnight.
Can you say where you, not where, but what type of building you're in? Or is it a building? Are you outside?
No, it's well-known place. Well, from what I've been told, it's quite a well-known place. It's the Swan Inn in York. We're actually staying there overnight, and yeah, even some of the rooms are haunted. So it's like, yay, cool.
Yeah, man, that'd be cool. That excellent.
Oh, definitely.
Your video when it comes out, so we'll be doing.
Well, I don't know whether I'd be doing a live, but I know Simons and Ghost Raiders would definitely be doing a live, definitely. And we're all dressing up as well.
Yeah. Yes. Cool. You doing anything, John?
No, I'm going out Saturday on the lash. Basically, I'm not going to lie. I could say I'm going out for a quaint meal, but it's not. It's a lash. I've got to get my phone fixed because let's just say I broke it today. In fact, I'll show you if you want. It's, I don't know. There we go. It works very well.
Oh, sugar. Wow.
Let's see.
What brand is it?
If I do that, there we go. Look.
Yeah, you're not going to get caught with that.
What is it? Is it a Galaxy or something?
Yeah, it's an S10. It's a screen. It fell out of my pocket early morning. I was putting something in the skip, and I stepped back, trod on it, and I went, "Fucking hell, what's that?" Thought it was a bit of rubble. I looked down. I went, "Shit, I couldn't do much else."
Yeah.
But it landed face down, so like like when you pick it up, it's broken. I just picked it up and went, oh no. But yeah, so I've got to get that done.
Are you going to get it repaired or just get another one?
I've got insurance on it, so I'm just going to get it repaired. So it's still, believe it or not, it still works. You just can't see the bottom half. So I've managed to get into it. I've taken what I've got to take off it. Hopefully I haven't lost anything in that sense. Just get it sorted out. I've got to get a SIM card adapter now because I haven't got another phone which uses a micro SD.
60 to 80
use the old SIM cards, but apparently you can get the adapters nearly anywhere. So just go and find
you can. Them. Sometimes if you get just a pay as you go, just for an example, and you get one. You usually have them inside, where the SIM cards. because you could just break them down.
Yeah, well,
And
I
that's
want
when
to
you
use
get the adapters. And,
if I can, I want to use my SIM card, so I'll just get a SIM card adapter. I think they're about £3-4, and it should only be away for a few days. So for a fiver, it's not going to be too much difference. At least I can still use it, because otherwise I've got to get another SIM card and then go, yeah, here's my number for 3 days, and it's like I can't be asked for that.
oh no, it's a lot of pissing about that. No, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. So if I'm not around or you can't get hold of me, you know why.
Yeah.
I've still got an email or and WhatsApp and shit like that.
And can I just say thanks to Matt as well for helping us out with this Halloween video thing I'm doing.
Was it helpful in that video I sent you?
I had it in my hand and it let go.
Oh shit!
Off again.
What is it?
It's helped us out
Fly.
because I needed to download a video that's on a DVD player or the DVD without a DVD drive on my laptop. So he sorted that out for me. Cheers. Also, my footage went missing, and I asked him whether he could help us. He said he could help us, but yeah, I said no, I'll leave it just how it is. And yeah, thanks Matt for helping us out, and thank you everyone for joining.
Doesn't sound like I helped you out much there, really. I went, no, you can't do much. You went, but I helped him out. Job done. That'd be 50 quid for doing nothing. Thank you.
Not just that, also like you say, that video needed to put chop bits up and throw in as well, so that's cool. So it should be a good in this video. Like I say, it's a proper Urbex video, but it's got a Halloween tweak to it, if you know what I mean, and a spooky feeling. So when I did it, I thought I'm holding this off till Halloween, and yeah, it's Halloween now, so we've got to release it. It should be a good one.
Cool.
I put a lot of effort into it, and then I got like 3/4 all the way through, and was about to go into this other room, and the footage went there, and the footage I've got then is me coming out of the room or the place or whatever.
Weird.
Found some footage that I need to retrieve, and I'll use that. So yeah,
Awesome.
I was like ripping my hair out for days searching through my computer. Yeah, it's no good. But yeah, right. So look out for that video. It's be dropping this weekend. Fingers crossed. So yeah, good night, everyone. Thanks everyone for joining us. See you all next week.
Nice to see you all. Catch you
later.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
And broadcast.